and I kind of just played it for fun, and I never really like, you know, had like a really strive or passion to want to play it. And then I met Crypto Cow, which you would know him by.
Yep.
And yeah, from there we just kind of like formed like this cool team that just started playing Siege tourneys, and it like showed me a new side to Siege, bro. And it was like, honestly, it's pretty fun. So
Okay.
that's probably my favorite moment in Siege right now. Is just like the comp scene. I really enjoy it.
Okay, let's go a little bit more.
To talk to people.
Who's your favorite player over all of your comp Siege time? Favorite teammate? Yes, you're gonna have to.
Favorite teammate?
Yep.
Okay. Honestly, trying to think. Are we going off of like? Actually, you know what? I'll just say. I'll say Stargazer, because he's like honestly the nicest human being you'll ever meet. Like, no joke. Like, you can yell at him, be mean to him, no matter what you'll say, he'll still like. He'll just be a humble guy. Like, he will never argue with you. Like, I don't know. He's just
a very happy-go-lucky kind of guy.
Yes, he's literally the happy-go-lucky guy, bro. So, I'd say, yeah, probably Stargazer.
Okay, that's understandable. He's relatively well-liked by what feels like everybody.
Yeah, I mean, I could see why. He's so, like, just chill.
Okay, let's go to your accomplishments. What is your favorite accomplishment as a player?
I would like to say winning a Scissors League, but, you know, just can't damn do that, apparently. But,
What's so, Black
honestly,
Ice?
Yeah, Black Ice I definitely think is up there, but, honestly, I would just say, like, our biggest accomplishment is hitting, I think, 10 league wins, like, within our team. Like, we hit the last league we just won. That was our 10th league win as a team, which is, I'm pretty sure it's, like, some of the most that any team has ever gotten.
Yeah, I mean, you guys have been together for, what, a year or so now,
like
minimum?
I think almost 2 years now.
Yeah, you guys are one of the most long-term rosters we've seen in a while. There hasn't been that many changes. There's been a couple of changes in the subs, but that main five has stayed for quite a long time.
Oh, yeah.
It's pretty impressive.
Not planning to go anywhere either. Yet, at least.
What's next for you? You know, you've done relatively well in the comp scene. You're well-known. What do you want to go to next? Do you want to try to keep up competitive? Do you want to go to tournaments and try to make a name, streaming?
Yeah, honestly, I'm not backing down until I win a fucking Sunday. All right? I need to win a Sunday.
Sunday's what you shoot for?
If I don't win a Sunday, I'm going to be pissed off. But
who do you want to play with?
Once I win...
Are you going to run it with CC?
I mean, yeah, we're trying to do CC. I mean, the only problem is we keep getting Jinxie first round of every single tournament. It's actually annoying. So, we played him the last 4 Sundays in, like, either first round or second round every single time. Sometimes we're like, we got flooded. Another time we, like, put up a fight. But, I mean, you're literally playing the super team. So, you know, it makes it kind of hard to try and, like, get used to tourneys, you know? When you just play the best team first round.
Yeah, I mean, that certainly doesn't help. So Sundays what you want to shoot for, though?
Yeah, I want to... And I do want... Like, I've been trying to start streaming, but I need a capture card first, so... Because I get stream sniped, like, every game. It's actually bad.
About that,
yeah, once I get that...
I can show you a couple of tips until then. I think I can make you a good setup. That's more off topic,
yeah, let me know. Yeah.
So you're saying, at the end of the day, Roller Rivals is where you want to go. Have you ever thought about PC?
Yeah. Honestly, I tried PC, and I wanted to play it, but... Dude, I'm gonna be honest, I am terrible at PC. I don't know what it is. I think it's just the recoil, bro. I don't know how people control that. So, yeah. I mean, maybe if, like, console Siege really does, like, I'm clearly seeing it not go anywhere, if I'm, like, even still in the scene at that point, and, like, I need to make a switch, then I might, like, try putting hours in the PC, but I don't know. We'll have to see.
I mean, yeah, I think by most, you're probably one of the most, you know, competitive players long term. You've been around here for a while, and you've always been No, pretty competitive player, but what was your first team? Let's talk. Was your first team CC or?
Yeah, my first and only team is CC. I can tell you how I actually got in the team if you want.
Shoot, yeah, tell me.
So, it's a funny story. So I was in this, I versed CryptoCal. His name was XOM9RX at the time. And I'm pretty sure I versed him in a custom or a rank game or something like that. And we were kind of shit-talking each other, right? And we were shit-talking each other in this GC. And some random dude just came in there and started calling us both terrible, right? So after that, me and Crypto ganged up on him and started talking shit to him. And then somehow, over that point in time, we were like friends, I guess, after that, which was kind of weird. So it's kind of a weird way to meet someone. And then after that, he, I think, messaged me probably like 3 or 4 days later. He's like, hey, do you want to try playing like the Siege comp scene, like playing tourneys and stuff? And I'm like, you know what, sure, why not? Because I was pretty good at Siege at the time, and I was trying to strive to get better, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, that happened, and then he introduced me to Vizsla, whose name was Nickel and Dime 21 at the time.
I know that one.
And yeah, and we actually had a different roster from then, and our name was different. We were Forensics during that time.
Yeah.
And we had a guy named Melted Harpy and CC Zombie on our team. And Zombie was my friend that I introduced into the team. I met him on Rust like 3 or 4 years ago. So, yeah, and then Melted Harpy was Nickel and Dime's friend. But he didn't really last that long because he got a job working at a correctional facility. So he got that, and we just kind of felt like he didn't want it as much as us, you know?
Yeah.
So we ended up kind of dropping him, but like he also left on his own. And then at that point we were like kind of struggling, finding a little fit. And then we met a guy named CC Delta, who he was an interesting player. He was like not bad. He had his moments. Like he dropped 20 on Ricky in Iowa when they used to have a league team.
Yeah.
So he had his moments, but he was primarily like not the greatest. So we ended up dropping him. And then after, actually, I think right before we found Delta, we had Quickie, if you know him. He used to be Virgin. And yeah, so right before Delta, actually, we had Quickie, who replaced Zombie, because Zombie stopped playing the game, like, entirely. Because, I don't know. I honestly don't know why he stopped playing, but he stopped. So that was our, like, that's our current 4, is me, Quickie, Crypto, and Vizsla.
Yeah.
And Star doesn't come in until, like, a little later. And then, so, once we dropped Delta, we started looking for like a good fit, you know, like a fit that would like be able to fill the support role and who actually had gun skill. So we were trying to look around for a little while. We were just like, I think, flipping through subs for a little bit. And then that's when we heard Stargazer was taking a little break from Siege and left F2. And at that time, Crypto was in contact with Stargazer. Like, he was trying to poach Stargazer from F2, like, for a while. So he contacted Star and was like, hey, if you ever come back, would you want to play for our team? And Star was like, yeah, I'll think about it. That's a possibility. And then, fun fact, he ends up coming back 1 week later and instantly wanting to play. So, yeah, that's how our main 5 is now.
Okay, so a bit
it
of
was
an
a really interesting time. Yeah, we started from arguing, which is kind of an interesting way.
That's definitely a bit different than a lot.
Yeah.
What do you think the peak of console league was in console competitive?
Honestly, right when we started leagues, I think is when, like, it was peaking. Like, there were so many good teams. Ricky had a team. like Andy and them had like another team, but it was like a lot more different. Like I know Code Black, like I don't know if you know that team. Code
Yeah,
Black was a thing.
back when they were
Um,
a thing.
there's a lot of other good teams that I'm blanking on, but there was so many like good teams at the time, and we just joined on that, and we were like, we were like a D2 team then. So we were playing when all the good teams were, but we just weren't like our prime selves yet, you know?
Yeah.
So I kind of wish we were. Probably could have made a better name for ourselves, but I mean, I think that's a key factor on what helped us get good so fast, if you get what I mean.
Yeah.
Is playing like those. That's the key. You gotta play players that are better than you. If you do that, you will get so good so fast. But
What do you think?
yeah,
What do you think made the peak of console leagues go at?
honestly, I think it was just like a lot more people had more passion. Like I don't know how to explain it. Like everyone had more passion to want to play, and like a lot more league owners like have shut downs.
This is going to be week 2 of Counting Cards, and we have a very special guest. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure, I am abolishing.
Sorry for the audio issues. We are back up and running. As we wait for the last couple of players to get in here, quick little intro. Both teams here, we have Noodle Synergy. Should be a banger of a game for Neurostrike. Surprisingly, I expected much more from Synergy early on, but they barely were able to squeak out that win. Noodle pretty strong from the game that I saw, and went against an amazing seed, pulled off a big win for them. Now we're going to hop into arguably what I think would be a finals level game, if you ask me, but going to have to wait for the last few to get in. Gonna see the pick of Nighthaven, which will first will probably be the most exciting map in my opinion. Both teams have shown to have some of the best entry numbers on here. Dominance. Let's get the show on the road. Bans go out first. Big thing you want to see here with both sides is how can they change the bans early on, because we saw Noodle were able to use that Azami and just able to abuse so much. Apparently going to be a bit of a slow pause after bans because players are not ready like that, and no issue from either side, but certainly a little bit aggravating to start off. Not a crazy, set of bans. Pretty normal. You see the ace go off, one of the best hard breachers. Nighthaven is technically his best map, actually. Always amazing. That AK-12 is such a good gun. You can kind of just be the everything on it, and no surprise, Cade, one of the best basement ops, the only one for hatches, and even then, Cade two-brow tricking is strongest on Nighthaven, in my opinion, and we saw Noodle abuse that so much in their defensive half, so it's no surprise we see it get banned. Like, it's going to get banned, I promise. Clash, early on, not anything surprising. With each of these teams, they've already played it once. They played this in their BO3 before, and they know the level of competition each of these brings. These are higher seeds. So coming into this, you got to be willing to expect, the traditional stuff has to go. But even then, you're going to leave open ops like Mira, Azami, the big ops here open, and it's going to force you to adapt. Because you're going to have to bring that Twitch. You're going to have to bring the Thatcher if you want to get some of the walls. And you got to still have some way to get rid of those Azamis. So maybe it's the DMR from the Twitch here. Maybe we see Ashe waste both of her Ashe charges there. Maybe we see a Flores pick. But within each one, you kind of just, you're going to have to see each team adapt to the fact that they're both really strong. Any predictions in chat whether we see a big breakaway on the defensive half here? I don't know. I personally see Noodle, I think, taking this one pretty standingly. They were good on that attack when I saw them in the playoffs. They were able to really get those first picks and convert rounds better than any of the other teams so far. And if they can keep that level of dominance up, it's going to give them such a big advantage. And I think that that's the big thing, and that's the big difference between these teams is I've seen much more dominant entry. And I just think Noodle's going to be able to pull it out. Moss problems from the side of TSG Black, or Synergy Gaming, excuse me, but we will wait just a little bit more in 15 seconds, and I'll go to a tech pause just for a little. Not trying to cause too many issues here. Honestly, though, I think the best thing that you got to pay attention towards is Boom, surprisingly. He's been able to really frag out on that support role, and, you know, once he gets that walls open, and he can still use, you know, that 5.56 XI on Thermite. He can still use the slower firing, you know, less crazy entry guns, but still he can get pretty good kills with it. After he gets that wall open, he's still really good on that attack, and he's still really good in that aggressive playing, and he's able to do all of that while IGLing his team. And I think seeing that level of aggression and IGLing is really going to be the big difference here, because neither of these teams are really all that aggressive in a basic time. You know, if they let it play out, it is just going to be a very slow start. But I think we're going to see Noodle take a pretty quick advantage. And as much as I don't like to do it, I am going to go to tech pause until we see our Moss problems fixed. Be back soon. Quick transition. I certainly thought it'd be a little longer, but Moss problems resumed, and we are good to go.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defused by attackers.
Setup-wise, I think we're really going to see a more basic setup early on from Synergy. They're just going to try to gauge their opponents, see how aggressive are they going to play, and how can we work around that. Ooh. And that's what you got to gauge with each of these early rounds. How fast can we get, you know, show some aggression, you know, possibly just get those first kills and really get into the mindset of we got this, and, you know, really show that to the team we're not going to get those early kills, we're not going to get those trade outs, and force them to try to almost start in this like mental backfoot. I think that Noodle struggled, or Noodle was amazing at it, and they made so many other teams struggle. Because early on, they would get that first win, and they would get those good trades, and it would just put your team on the mental back foot. Because as an IGL, you're no longer IGLing your team, you also got to keep them together. That's the biggest thing we're going to have to see as an improvement. Is Synergy are going to have to play better into the mental. When they went down, it was so hard for them to just get any rounds, and it just felt like they were so susceptible to some momentum. Early on, we're going to see a zombie play the rafters, and no real surprise from her. With strong solutions. You see that Twitch DMR I'm talking about. You gotta have somebody get rid of those zombies, and one of the best ways there is. Big issue is, can they get rid of this bandit trick? They have to have someone below here early on, because otherwise it's just no real way to get the wall. All it takes a little bit of timing here. But in the zombie might be a great play here and allow them to bandit trick. Problem is that this little slit left might catch him if he's unlucky. Huge aggression. Sultan on Nash grabs that first kill. He's gonna have to try to go for the bandit trick here. Can he get it off? He does, and they keep IT well, but losing that first pick is never a good start. They opt to just reinforce off and sort of have the mirror be the only hole in. He's gonna trick it, is he? There's no. He's on the very edge, so they can't see him. Insane trick, and That wall's realistically going to stay closed unless he wants to waste everything else he has. Opt out all 3 of those Thatchers. Wasted. Rin catches one. Long angle from Aqua. So far, each of these teams have kind of just taken what the gaps they've been given. They haven't created all that much, and Sultan grabs another free one of the deals. This is kind of your basic droning phase. You're going to see these teams just try to find a gap, find their entryway in, and C4 goes out, misses it from phase E. Sitting in the corner might be a play, but any good droning could really cause issues long term. Pineapple catches a beautiful kill. Getting that Fenrir, always a good thing to have, because now you can't change him anymore. Stuck as they are, Mira grabs a kill that could be too late. 1v3 for Ren, 1v2. You essentially have to get a quad, and it's such a hard situation because they still have time and they still have drones here. That's so much you have to come against. 1v1 though, Rin could clutch. Rin with a quad kill, Synergy taking an early lead. Backpack performance from the SMD-12. And, I mean, that's about as good as you can get for the first round. No, you didn't win as much as you could, but you did so good early on there, and that's all you could ask for as a team. Great start for them. On the Noodle, though, they got that first pick, and they just couldn't hold it together. They let Warden and Aqua here just sit with his deployable shield in such a powerful position, and you got to clear that out. You got to put some pressure on the backside, because otherwise you can just see him play that and just be able to swing angles and multiple of them safely.
Need to locate and defuse bombs.
You really got to try and play into that. You can't just let it sit there and just let him grab, you know, a quad kill and just control that much space by himself. You're just allowing that one-man army to be a thing, and Noodle need to prove that they can kind of deal with those positions, and they realized they're going to hold those power positions. We got to be putting some more more anger and more pressure towards them. No IQ, surprisingly, for these Valkyrie cams, so C4s could be an issue. Realistically, looking like an SSG roam.
10 seconds.
Some of you that are more unaware, SSG roam is when you're going to see more than 2 or 3 bodies upstairs, and
5 seconds left.
it all depends on having a link. And it means that if it works, and if you hold your bodies right, it is so hard to clear. But if one person in that chain dies in a position they shouldn't, if a middle guy dies, you're stuck. And it creates these very risky hard places to work, because if you lose the roam, you're already gonna, sight is almost a freebie. And it forces a retake. But if you hold that SSG roam right, it gives you so much time to wait. Early pick, Sultan, main who grabbed it originally. Mukuro being chased for dear life, running away. Blitz grabs it, trade out. Good refrag from Tanks, and sends that he could just catch him off here on that angle, and it worked out perfectly in his favor. Once again, we're just going to see the aggression here from that Blitz shield. Really try to find another kill, get you an advantage. They hear the C4. You might not know where entirely. A lot of angles are watching this. Isn't really a free one. Beautiful C4 from Slasher. Bodies go out, Synergy go out 4-on-1. Should be a free round. Blackbeard shield aside, and the trade comes out, but Synergy, amazing start here. Quad kill from Rin early on, and then you're just seeing a really good trade out there. They had that first pick, and they just kept the aggression up. They didn't let the trade get in their head. They just kept going, and it worked amazing for them there. Rin, monster in this game so far. Able to just kind of keep up what he's doing, 6-0 on trade outs. Just literally just feels like he's always dropping something so far. And more comical numbers, a 289 EPS, if you know the match rating system from Siege Tracker or R6 Analyst.
Defenders,
similar to that.
From being defused by attackers.
Just put that times 100 and just shows how dominant they've been so far. Rin really putting a backpack performance for his team. However, don't sleep on Tank so far. So far, he's been able to get the refrags that he needs. He's +2 on those refrags, and while they're starting down 2-0, I think you still have a lot of good players. You can see they're performing great. It's just you've had an amazing performance from Rin back-to-back. You've had a double, you've had a quad. Everyone else is doing their job and getting those trades, and that's going to give them that early advantage. It's going to give them that wiggle room, because now you feel on the side of Synergy, you feel a little more comfortable. You already have what you needed, really. Everything past this is just sort of, you know, comfort, because you've already had your backers. 2-round split, it's not great, but you have what you have to have. If you get a 3, good, you're on pace. If you get a 4 or 5, you're feeling great. Especially if you can waste a tactical timeout here. If you can go up 3-0 and then force the tac timeout, it's such a great play for the team, because it lets Synergy just already have that what they need, and then now you just have to feel on the side of Noodle. You're already getting put back early on. You're getting pushed back. You're not being able to hold those entries. Big issue. It's really just going to be this IT wall here. A lot of bodies are going to come towards it, and it can work out fine, but if Sultan happens to go aggressive here, someone could be punished inside of Rin. Mirror Shield too, though. It's not exactly a free kill. However, if he swings in at the right time, could be caught with a freebie. Everyone just kind of waiting for their moment, waiting for a time that feels right. Don't pushing first. See the body of Rin, and he's got to be careful with the C4 in hand. Sazy, beautiful shot. Doesn't even need the C4, and you get that early pick, and you have your C4 still. Normally with the Blackbird, you expect to see a C4 waste, possibly even 2 if you miss, and instead we see Sazy take that early headshot, entry kill, and you don't even have to waste that much utility. Great start, and really can't ask for much better. Ball does go out inside of misses, so a bit of an odd hole in terms of size and where it's at, but it gives you that angle nonetheless, and I think that's really what they needed. TSG certainly dominant so far, and we're going to see a bigger play from some of their entries. Maybe a better IGL performance from Boom. So many angles to check. He's got to swing in aggressively, look for a gap. Sazy finds him, and huge 3-player advantage. Synergy just can't seem to keep up. Slasher gets a C4 from below, 1v4, and any smart team here, I think, would take that, would use this time as a tactical timeout. Instead, Sazy finds him, 3-0 start, and probably going to force a immediate timeout here from the side of Noodle. Going down, and none of these are close wins so far. You had a quad kill on a power position, and you've had 2 games that had 3 or more players left. You can't do that as a team, and I'm assuming we'll either see a ban of sorts here or something, because Noodle just looked like they just got destroyed, and you really gotta rethink it, I think, as a point and as a team. But apparently Boom and his team says, don't worry, we have a plan. I may not trust him, but they got something planned. I mean, if it's working, it's working. Certainly a great start, and I think already you're feeling that Noodle has to be put on the back foot here. Because you're already down. You're already down, and you can't really do... everything past this is just you trying to stay alive. You're just trying to keep it close. And now you feel safe. They're comfortable. They have what they needed. You got your good defensive half. You guys can chillax, and I know the mental in there is good and is cheerful, and everyone feels like they're, you know, as a great team. And this is such a good start early for that map 1, because these can always be such make or break moments, and having such a dominant start for Synergy and giving yourself that momentum when you go into map 2, that half switch, and I mean, you couldn't really ask for more, honestly, as a team. TSG putting a almost what feels like belt to ass so far. No disrespect to Noodle, but they really got to prove something more here. Got to prove that they're worth being a team here, worth the playoff spot. But Ren says, we're going to make sure you start down 1 down. Early spawn peak goes disastrous, and I mean, you really got to rethink as a team, I feel. Okay, let's say you do get the IT well here. You still have so much you have to do as a team. It's not like you're, you know, you're up player and Wall's getting on early. You're going to have to realistically get this if you're going to get it at 2 minutes maybe even a minute 45, and that's going to give the other defense so much time to just delay and play off. And now you're just going to see them have to start on this back foot. I don't know, I'm not seeing a great start, and I guarantee not what they wanted. Tanks does tie it back up, getting that top frag. Suddenly we're just going to sort of see big issues. Sidemark, trade, pineapple, bodies and trade go out, seeing it eventually stabilize. Slasher, about to say stabilize in a 3v2, but so far we're just seeing kills left and right, and apparently another C4 truck shot. You assume this is a phase, like a phase Call of Duty montage. Bodies go so fast in the span of 10-15 seconds, and with the diffuser up there out of all places, certainly I guarantee you not what they expected. And you do have two players that are doing pretty good for their team right now in terms of where they are, Pineapple Crush and Tanks, but you still have so much stuff you have to clear, and the utility isn't bad. You still have good drones and, you know, your X-Kairos, concussions, and a flash, but there's so much you have to do, and this position behind the issue is always not going to be fun to clear. Shotgun down, which is out. Have to win this from the side of Slasher, and doesn't even make it close. Dominant so far, and Synergy, you're putting the belt to ass. You really want to see a timeout from Noodle here sometime. There is a timeout on the board. There is not one that is just sitting there, and I don't know what you do as a team. I feel like they don't even know what to do as a team. And to think having that happen is just, it's so bad. And, you know, it's certainly not what they wanted. Early on, though, surprisingly, the entries only being Skid, everyone else has kind of struggled to get anything done.
Need to locate and defuse bombs.
I feel like if we don't see some rounds here early on, this is going to be a big, big issue going into map 2, because you're just going to see what feels like a beatdown almost. Like, Synergy have just shown that they can get those early kills, they can get the spawn peaks, and they're not even making it close, really. I think that's the issue, though, markedly, is it's not that you're getting these early rounds, it's that they're not even close. If it was 4-0, but every single round came down to 1v1, that'd be demoralizing, but you're losing in plus 3 players left. You're not losing in, you know, these close situations where you just feel bad and it just came down to an unlucky duel. These are genuinely situations where you have to rethink as a team what's going on. Because you've started down, you've lost the entry all but one round, and there's just so much you have to do as a team. I feel like that mental hurdle to really get that first round is what they need to cross, and you need to see the side of Boom Tanks as that sort of ideal team. They have to just really rethink it. Grabbing that first kill, I guarantee you, is a bigger win than we see. Just give them a little bit of push, give them a little bit of momentum to work with. The issue, though, is really just going to be this roam here. Murko, TSG, hasn't been on it before, but I don't think anyone's worried at this point. It feels like Synergy have kind of proven themselves right. Even the players that aren't doing great are still putting a value, it's just can't get all the kills. Che catches one, possibly two, but Boom grabs it, and Noodle keeping that one-player advantage. Miracle immediately trades it back out and stabilizing that 3v3. Bait trying to find his second kill of this round in game. A little bit quiet before this, and they need a win here. They need something to get themselves a little bit of a boost and get something. Whether that's getting early and getting the verticality, on time, whether that's getting a pick here, or maybe, a good trade out, like you kill the C4 here of Slasher, but something's got to happen. Seeing a prepped castle barricade. I think the issue, though, is I don't think they're really going to worry about it. He's so far off, and this team, I feel like, is so tunnel visioned right now and just trying to get close to sight, because they haven't really gotten that close. So far this game, I think the issue is they haven't been able to knock on the gates as the same site. They've been held onto this roam, and these extensions have been so strong from them that it feels like they haven't even touched sight at all. They haven't put any pressure really on that planner, or even gone for the defuse. Bit of a odd hold here from Murko, deciding to sit in the corner out of all things, but he might be right for it. Time is going to wind down, and they don't have time to clear everything. Could really benefit this late roam and the guts to stay up here when nothing really feels like he should be. However, a good play. Pineapple catches him out. That one player advantage they really want to see here. Bodies drop hatch, and Ying probably going to be the aggressive one here, going for the plant. Caught out. Rin grabs 2. It's a 1v1. Arguably what I think is one of the bigger rounds here. They need to find something to work with. Beautiful C4, and Slasher finishes. Synergy up 5-0 with no timeout. I mean, as a team, I feel that they're just so demoralized. And that there's so much that Noodle need to make up, and it's just getting worse and worse. They haven't called that timeout. They've just kind of kept doing their thing, and it's just going to keep catching up to them. I'm honestly just surprised we haven't seen a timeout here. You'd expect it with how bad it's gone for the side of Noodle, but they have to keep playing on. I don't know if they don't want to show the weakness here or something, but you're down 5-0. You're inching close to a flawless half on the side of Synergy, and this is a bo3 for playoffs. You can't really afford to lose this. There is no double elimination. If you lose, you go home. It feels like Noodle aren't even putting up a fight. Nothing is saying they can't. Like, they can call attack timeout. I made sure that the setting is there. They're just not calling it. And I think that's more concerning, though, is why aren't they? What's so discouraging that they don't even want to touch it? I think that's really just the big thing here is we haven't seen any momentum really for the side of Noodle since that first round at the 1v4, and even then it feels like all momentum is really just demoralized. If they don't get around here, I would argue that this bo3 is already probably over. If they end this at a 7-0, as a team, even if you have that 5 minutes in between games to group up and figure it out, I don't think it's going to happen, honestly. I think there's too much that has to happen. I don't see them doing it. Holding the closest thing I've ever seen, terrified for his life after he gets spotted out. A cross going to come in. He was running, hope he doesn't die, barely gets away. Was a James Bond-esque save, and a trade from Beauty. Rin got a kill when it looked impossible and keeps it still even. Bait grabs 1, finally another advantage for the side of Noodle, but you're low on health already, and with how many C4s are possibly able to come out and even a roam, a lot you have to do. Murko in this aggressive position here, hoping to catch someone out, and I think it's really going to benefit him if he can just keep up here, not fall for, you know, a flash or a drone, and don't let this, you know, amount of people on that are left throw you. However, you have nobody in sight here. It is a 2v4. I agree that you should hold the aggression here, but this might be overkill. One grab from the side of Synergy pulling back, which should be impossible. No one is in sight. They are trying to makeshift your way to a win, and this round doesn't even look lost yet. It still feels like this is possible to win. He knows where it is, but he can't do anything. Looked away at the wrong time, and for the first time it feels like forever. There's some hope on the side of Noodle. At this point, I think you're just trying to stat pad and save it from looking awful and get your team's mental back in check. E4 goes down, it's gonna kill Pineapple Crush there. Bait already low, down to a 1v2. Maybe 6-0 half. Dominant so far. Rin and Stacey looked like the Batman and Robin duo we hope for in our games, hope for in that ranked and in that tournaments, and they haven't looked unstoppable. That's why they haven't even really lost. Stacey is plus 10 on trade differential with a 4.5 KD. Rin is playing that more aggressive angles and he's getting those kills. He did much better early on, but it's not like he's doing bad here. I feel like we're still seeing amazing play from all of Synergy, and the only reason the kills don't look crazy for everyone is because they're already being taken. You have 3 people taking almost all of the kills. It's ridiculous because their third frag has more kills than the side of Noodle's top frag. And you're really just, you're looking for something here. And I honestly don't think they're going to find it. I think we're going to find that this team has already been kind of demoralized. This is a dominant start for them, and it's so hard to come back, in my opinion. Which doesn't help, because I know it sucks, and trying to come back for this is nearly... You just need to find something. You need to find something to hang your hat on. Something to say that we're not entirely out of it yet. Because so far it hasn't looked like that. I mean, I don't know. I'm trying to see if we can find something statistically that Noodle can hang their hat on. It's just there's not a lot right now. And I think that that's certainly painful for the side of, you know,
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many bombs
Noodle,
as they
but
can.
you got to show something out here. You can't just stay here and keep up what you've been doing. You got to prove that you're more than what you are now. Because so far you've struggled so miserably, and I don't know. I'm genuinely combing through the statistics here, trying to find that one little bit that we can see them hang their hat on. They've just struggled a lot, and this game is really gonna have to be a big. They need a step up here. They just need a player to really prove that they're ready for the big lights. Because so far it looks like Synergy have been able to shine, and Noodle's just been blinded by it. And that's so awful to see, because I know that Noodle have that talent. They have the players they need to actually prove and show out, but they haven't shown it yet, and I'd argue that makes it even worse, honestly. I think here we're just trying to see some hope from Synergy. Some hope for Noodle here, because I know going down 7-0 is going to be the big thing. If they have to go down 7-0, this game is going to feel over in the side. They need something to hang their hat on. You know, you're just looking for something to hang your hat on. Road reinforcement, I mean, you're giving them time. That's great, there's so much you gotta do. 3v4, a little bit of hope for Noodle here. A sliver of something to hang their hat on. Smokes and how much delay they have. It doesn't look like this is impossible, just delay it out, but really gonna have to play this smart. This Blackbeard here can be the big play they have to worry about, because if he gets space early on, it's going to feel hard to do anything. You need to stop him here, and now preferably, the longer they wait, the worse it's going to get. All just feels not lost, but a lot that has to happen so far. I think it's a big issue. 1v4 Synergy looking to finally show a little bit of slowing down, but a 1v2, it's not going to look too bad. Rin here, he's been in the situation, he's been able to clutch him out. Ending it here would almost guarantee a win in terms of that bo3. If you can come up 7-0. Damage, he's just trying to play the two-man. Both bodies are looking at him. Boom, finishes, and finally a round on the board. We're not going to see Noodle go out flawless. They have something to hang their hat on. Took a while, but something did show. A little bit of hope. I think the big thing there is it felt like they were able to trade their bodies a little better. They were able to at least keep it close, and you need to see that. You need to see something more from Noodle there, where they're able to at least try and hold that advantage. It might benefit them for this side, but still a lot you got to do. They are a more passive team, and so far it looks like Synergy have had their number.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defused by attackers.
We'll see. I don't know. I think that Noodle is poised for a better second half here, but it's not going to be enough. You're not going to pull a phase comeback in map 1. We're going to see them go down. It's just really a question of how much can they slow down the momentum here. That's the big thing. If you can get a couple of really dominant rounds and end out on just a barely loss of a 1v1 somewhere, that's great. If you can get to a 6-3, 6-4, it doesn't look as bad here. And I think that's really what you're looking for on the side of Noodle, is you're just trying to keep yourself in the fight. You're trying to give yourself just that extra time to regroup and, you know, come back together as a team. As a team, though, you're still having quite a bit of issues with players just getting those early kills, which I think is always going to be the issue. There we are. Bit of a lag, apparently. Honestly, just interested to see what can we see change from Noodle here. They got to show some improvement. Yeah, I think even if we can get a couple of rounds here, I wouldn't be surprised if Synergy just take the time out to regroup as a team, because I think they wanted to end this on a dominant note. Any rounds here is kind of just a big loss for them. Yes, you're getting that first map. It's not like you're as dominant anymore. Deimos tracking, trying to see if we can find a cap can. Doubt certainly to be had. I think at this point they know the MO. I think they know that the Blackbeard is coming. They know that this aggressive play is coming. And you got to be so smart on the side of Noodle and remember that you saw them. They're gonna take space and they're gonna use whatever you give them. You gotta put pressure. You gotta show what's there. And, you know, force them to acknowledge you. You can't let the side of Synergy just walk out. Crush taking a bit of an aggressive angle. Grabs one. Noodle looking a little bit more up finally. Come time. Rin swinging in. Two with bodies go out. And what looked like an amazing round for Noodle is now 150. 2v1. Big win if they can grab it, but Chegg finished it off. And about as dominant of a half you could really ask for. That'll be map 1. We'll be back after a slight break. This is going to be week 2 of Counting Cards, and we have a very special guest. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. I am abolishing a CC member on the league team, CC. One of the most OG league teams to this day. And, yeah, top 50 champion. You know how it'll be.
You know how it'd be, I guess. Nah, what is your favorite moment so far from Siege, he'd say? If we're going
My
any
favorite
moment.
moment,
Before this fucking
honestly, bro,
update,
it's probably meeting my team that I'm now with, bro. Like, genuinely, I always played Siege, like, you know, for fun back in like 1.0. Like, I started around like season 2 around there, and I kind of just played it for fun. And I never really, like, you know, had like a really strive or passion to want to play it. And then I met Crypto Cow, which you would know him by.
Yep.
And yeah, from there we just kind of like formed like this cool team that just started playing Siege tourneys, and it like showed me a new side to Siege, bro. And it was like, honestly, it's pretty fun. So
Okay.
that's probably my favorite moment in Siege right now. Is
Me?
just like the comp scene. I really enjoy it.
Okay, let's go a little bit
Besides the
more.
toxic people.
Who's your favorite player over all of your comp siege time? Favorite teammate? Yes, you're gonna have to.
Favorite teammate?
Yep.
Okay. Honestly, trying to think. Are we going off of like? Actually, you know what? I'll say Stargazer, because
Alright.
he's like honestly the nicest human being you'll ever meet. Like, no joke. Like, you can yell at him, be mean to him, no matter what you'll say, he'll just be a humble guy. Like, he will never argue with you. Like, I don't know. He's a
very
so
happy-go-lucky
chill.
kind of guy.
Yes, he's literally the happy-go-lucky guy, bro. So, I'd say, yeah, probably Stargazer.
Okay, that's understandable. He's relatively well liked by what feels like everybody.
Yeah, I mean, I could see why. He's so, like, just chill.
Okay, let's go to
Like
your
him.
accomplishments. What is your favorite accomplishment as a player?
I would like to say winning a Scissors League, but, you know, just can't damn do that, apparently. But,
What's so Black
honestly,
Ice?
yeah, Black Ice I definitely think is up there, but, honestly, I would just say, like, our biggest accomplishment is hitting, I think, 10 league wins, like, within our team. Like, we hit the last league we just won. That was our 10th league win as a team, which is, I'm pretty sure it's, like, some of the most that any team has ever gotten.
Yeah, I mean, you guys have been together for, what, a year or so now,
like
minimum?
I think almost 2 years now.
Yeah, you guys are one of the most long-term rosters we've seen in a while. There hasn't been that many changes. There's been a couple of changes in the subs, but that main five has stayed for quite a long time.
Oh, yeah.
It's pretty impressive.
Not planning to go anywhere either. Yet, at least.
What's next for you? You know, you've done relatively well in the comp scene. You're well known. What do you want to go to next? Do you want to try to keep up competitive? Do you want to go to tournaments and try to make a name, streaming?
Yeah, honestly, I'm not backing down until I win a fucking Sunday. Alright? I need to win a Sunday.
Sunday's
Seriously.
what you shoot for?
If I don't win a Sunday, I'm gonna be pissed off. But
who do you want to play it with?
once
then?
I win...
Are you going to run it with CC?
I mean, yeah, we're trying to do CC. I mean, the only problem is we keep getting Jinxie first round of every single tournament. It's actually annoying. So, we played him the last 4 Sundays in, like, either first round or second round every single time. Sometimes we're like, we got flooded. Another time we, like, put up a fight. But, I mean, you're literally playing the super team. So, you know, it makes it kind of hard to try and, like, get used to tourneys, you know? When you just play the best team first round.
Yeah, I mean, that certainly doesn't help. So Sundays what you want to shoot for, though?
Yeah, I want to... And I do want... Like, I've been trying to start streaming, but I need a capture card first, so... Because I get stream sniped, like, every game. It's actually bad.
About that,
yeah, once I get that...
I can show you a couple of tips until then. I think I can make you a good setup. That's more off topic, but...
Yeah.
We're back, getting into this map here. Obviously a dominant start for True Synergy Gaming. And, I mean, you can't really do much better than how they started. You did what you needed early on, you cleaned up, and you came out, you showed out when you needed. what more could you ask for? You had a dominant 7-1 start, and I mean, that's all you could really think of as a team is you're getting that early picks, you're getting what you need, and you have that space. Because if you lose this game, you're not out yet. And I know that that feels so much better as a team. First bans, you see the bottom of the mirror. I'd be astonished if it wasn't, honestly. Which I think says more about the current state of Siege and how strong operatives like that can be. And not really surprised, honestly. They're strong for a reason. Some of the best operators in the game, and we're just seeing that early on. Second bans, no real surprise. You see ACC clash, and once again, it's just getting rid of those super strong ops and just give yourself a little bit of wiggle room, a little bit more to work with, and that's why you're getting rid of that clash to give yourself some more space. I mean, as a team, Synergy, I know, feel great. They started how they wanted, and they're up as much as they could ever want, and that's as great as you could do. Now you got to see Noodle come back after such a hard map one, and that's it. I mean,
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many bombs as they can.
because Synergy here they just look so much better. They showed better out on the entries. They showed better out in trade differential. There wasn't a single stat that was dominated by Noodle, or even one. Like, there was genuine, just total dominance across the stat board, and as a team, that's so hard to come back from, because it's just hard to think about. You couldn't win a single stat, and now you got to try to win 7 rounds against a team. It's not an easy prospect, and we're going to see a masterclass of comebacks and, truly uplifting this team when they need it with Noodle here. I think that this is really gonna be the bigger map here, is if Noodle want to prove that they can even hang at the level where Synergy are playing right now. They need a better half than what they had. 6-0 isn't gonna do it. You're gonna need at minimum that 3-3 or 4-2. And if you truly want to have a chance at coming back and winning it all, you're gonna probably need a 4-2 or higher. You need that advantage to prove yourself and prove to everyone that you're not out yet. Sultan getting the first pick, oddly similar so far. Slow start, but aggression on the shield.
Attackers have located
These
a bomb.
picks early on, I think, is what's really going to differentiate each team. Synergy were able to really progress and still play out their playing defense hold without that pick gone. Or with a pick gone. They can still play their sort of style, where it feels like Noodle, when they go down, they've already lost a lot. Smoke trying to hold blue here, but now without some serious pressure that is going to come towards him. The Blackbeard is going to be the major issue, though. It's strong no matter how you use it. I know here he's just trying to delay a little bit more time, because second you have to try to deal and fight a Blackbeard here. It's not a guaranteed loss, but it's going to be much harder. All these angles, nades coming out, and pressure is becoming a little more prevalent as it goes on. Boom grabs another pick. Missed shots, and suddenly Synergy looks really down here. Slasher grabs another C4 kill. Been amazing with those C4 so far, but a lot of bodies gone. 1v4, and Synergy finally looking up early on. Great round from them, and some life looks like it's been breathed into Noodle here after a very questionable first game. It's why there's those 5 minutes in between. It's why you have them, because you really want to give each team a little bit of time to regroup. You can make sure everything is right, stats are being sent, and if you can utilize those 5 minutes in these tactical timeouts, that's what's really going to separate you apart. Because if you go down 3 rounds, but you can use the tactical timeout, you can use all the resources that are given and use those 5 minutes in between, and you can stay mentally warm, and you can go into that next map not only excited but genuinely locked in as a team. It's huge. It falls a lot under the IGL there. You gotta keep your team together. You you can't struggle in those 5 minutes. There's a lot of time between, and you really got to keep your team together. Because if you're not experienced with having those breaks in between, it's like playing Jenga. Everything will fall eventually if you're not smart. And those 5 minutes can really start pulling, you know, people's mental apart. Because it feels weird and awkward as a player to sit in 5 minutes and not do anything. Some of the best IGLs I know will genuinely tell their players to play Wordle. And it really just depends on the team, but you gotta just keep your mental together. You gotta feel complete as a team, because the second you let those 5 minutes degrade you and slow you down, that's where you're gonna really run into issues. For teams, top teams, you know, bigger leagues are gonna just show you why they're better. They use that time better, and the big thing is how can you use your time here? Skidmark could grab another early kill here if he's lucky, but run off from smoke here. Slasher's still upstairs, but otherwise it feels like it's been cleared out very fast. They're fine with just holding the bunker room. Certainly an interesting pick, I think, after last round. Maybe they saw how many bodies they lost early on and just feel maybe it's safer to try to go for a bit of an alternative strat. Sazy and Chag playing this very generally close angle, trying to play these marble stairs and hold down this very, you know, first floor area. This hallway that they're in, that hallway right next to marble, is really where a lot of the action can happen, and it's why you see so many bodies and utility dedicated over here. Goyo, early aggression. Looks to be punished. Eight rounds left. Skidmark grabs it. And amazing start from him so far. Grabbing the entries, grabbing whatever his team really needs, and I mean, just kind of domination early on. Heard him. Huge group up from him. Another kill, and Noodle's looking better than ever. Those 5 minutes in between look to have really brought them up to what we saw them for, you know, last time. That right, they lost that one early on, and after that 5 minute break in between, it feels like that team really separated. Synergy bring it back to a 2v3 though. I guarantee not the position they wanted, because they still have that top frag alive and they still have their shields here, but this round is not lost. I think it's really going to come down to how well can we see a hold from Skidmark. Can he hold this position here? Can he really prove that he can just be a threat by himself in basement? Because he's the only body that was dropped. Seeing aggression being shown, locker side being cubed in, a 1v3, and Skidmark finishes, and Noodle looking so much better after that 5 minute break. Looking like a full team ready to play and make this closer. Almost showing the same level of domination we saw early on from Synergy here, and it doesn't surprise me at all, honestly. We saw them last time, we saw them before, and we know that they're dominant when you have them in, you know, these longer games. They struggle a lot in BO1s, but in BO3s, and when they have those breaks in between, it feels like they're a whole new demon. It feels like you're fighting an entirely different team. I'd know because I saw almost all of their team get moss checked last week, and all came back sparkly clean,
Attackers
sadly
need to
for them.
locate and defuse as many bombs as they can.
But great start to the floor. Once again, I feel like we're running into these teams and these rounds where it feels like it's a battering round. Each team is either trying to ram it in more and really get themselves that bigger of an advantage when they can, or you're trying to play it keep away and you're trying to stop, you know, stop your Hannibal at the gates of sorts. Feels like we're really seeing a much bigger just threat overall from players. That might come down to Skidmark currently, because he's just so good on the entry right now. I don't know what he took, but apparently he decided a backpack performance to save his team is hit the plan of action. Who needs teammates when I can go to the entries? Jokes aside, it does feel like Noodle played much better and played that role of holding their time and progressing in a normal manner, even, you know, with this not being one of their stronger maps. They did opt to go the attack, so a map that's not seen a lot in the unorthodox side. Maybe they really do play something like this, and certainly an interesting idea from them. They're going to find that this roam clear is going to be realistically fruitless. Only body upstairs is that smoke there. And I don't think he's going to be given up all too easily. If he decides to hold, it's going to be a slow hold. Because you just have so much you have to do as a player. And he's really going to be the impact player here, I'd argue. This position on blue, if you dual threat it with a hard breach and someone coming trying to push and pressure the smoke from blue stairs, even then it's still not a guarantee. That shotgun is dominant for a reason. Are you going to start to see those smokes wasted around the same time frame? Bodies moving up and certainly an interesting angle. One of the crazier Kibos I've seen where you can just sit behind it and cover himself while putting his smokes out. Still can't be pinged by the Grim, though. Oh, he was certainly going to be pushed back and coming out, and a lot of pressure. Nate forced him to run. Good cut off and brush. Early pick. Getting these entries is great for them, but they're getting them very late, and which I'd argue benefits the side of the defense. Sazy ties it back up. Azami in server here is really going to be the hardest thing to do. So much you have to do and so much utility she can waste. Even if you have the pings on her, it's still such a hard person. Flash all you want, but it's not going to be an easy fight. You need to make a move, though. It's 20 seconds left, and the more we see this Azami waste, the better her job is being done.
Seconds left.
Another kill in this position. Service feels like a superpower. Quad here and slash finishes, but backpack performance from that key to hold and big round. With Sazy really just taking it over and forcing such a position to be nearly impossible to clear. Doesn't surprise me though. We saw a lot of success when they didn't go these traditional takes, and when they do, they're gonna struggle. They got to show something more unorthodox and show these different ideas when it comes to synergy, because they're not going to beat them on the defaults. They got to show something different. Their best way to win, and what feels like their only option, is being unique. You're not going to beat them at their default takes. They've shown that they're so good at those, and they're able to trade out the bodies. But if you throw a Blackbeard in a weird spot or go down, a non-normal path like we saw when they dropped Vault instead, that's already going to put yourself in such a better situation.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defused
As we've seen
by
from the entry so far. Finally go upstairs after what feels like forever.
Attackers have located a bomb.
Big thing here on the side of Noodle, though, is you can't let this one round get in your head. You got to keep going, keep playing, and keep going on, because if you let them take another piece of momentum here and slow you down, map 2 is going to look very hard to come back from. TSG and all of their games have been a really big momentum team. Once they grab that first couple rounds, once they get those first entries, it feels like it's just an insurmountable wall compared to a lot of others. Gonna see Chegg playing the elevator. Not all too surprising, but a lot of pressure coming main lobby side. Those spiral stairs are a great place to go with that Monty, but you have to dump so much utility and time. It's really not easy. I don't know what the spam is for. maybe hoping to catch out an Echo, but he will not be given anything. They know how scary and how hard it can be to clear this Monty, and right now they've kind of just chose to let it do its thing. Let him progress how he wants and let him keep that. Bait grabs a kill. Getting the Legion is already a great pick. Forces utility that could have been to be gone. Problem with regenerative utility, it's not anywhere near as good as people think. Check though, looks like we can get a lot of pressure come not too soon here. Push up Spiral. If he isn't spotted elevator, you suddenly have a very hard player to clear, and with these Echoes it can make it even harder. Give a chance to get a shot on that shield. Just pebble him down. Finka kind of being the player behind the shield and trying to force something. They're holding much better. Boom grabs Slasher and big advantage so far. Noodle up 2. Finka basing on the LMG and everything's just going out here. Beautiful kills from Monty here. Played his pistol and his cover as best he could. You could see how he sort of used that shield to force multiple fights. Great play from him, and all momentum that might have been had by Synergy quashed already. Numbers you really want to pay attention to though is Ren. He's not been able to grab those entries early on. He's 0-2 on them. He's been taking those fights, but it feels like we've just seen Sultan already take that dominant role that he once had and kind of just feel like the alpha entry of this lobby. This game has been predicated on one player taking a lot of these entries early on and showing that momentum out, and
Attackers need
we're kind of
to
seeing
locate
that right
and
now as
defuse
sort of
bomb.
flop sides. Obviously now we see Sultan picking up that Ash and Finka so far and really just using his high fire rate or high damage guns and just, you know, force these hard disadvantaged fights, because you're either going to be pre-fired or you're going to have to deal with the best attacking gun in the game. I think it's certainly a dangerous prospect to try to go against someone like Sultan right now, who's, you know, he's hot. You know he's feeling mentally really good right now. His team is doing great. He is doing great. And a bit of a backpack, I'll give him that. But it looks like he's the only one in the lobby, really, that's sort of put up some work. I feel almost. We did have Sazy clutch that round, but otherwise it just feels like Noodle have had this game down to a T, and mostly because of Sultan, to be fair. Tank has played great on that Monty here in the last round and possibly in this one, and the IGLing from Boom feels like it's a big step up. I think it all culminates that they're really letting Sultan go off more here. Let him play that entry role and just gives you that big advantage. However, Ella playing a bit of an opposition. Rin grabs one on the odd angle. Had it happen once, will not let it happen again. Big issue though is just your kind of time-wise, you got to be very careful. There's cross matchup, which will be an issue, but you got to worry more about these Echoes here. Again though, the elevator position is really going to be the hard one to clear. These windows allow for so much ability to just run away from things. And bodies galore. Everyone is up here and trying to get something. Che stuck in a corner, trying to bait something, and Jags here on this. Monty wasn't able to grab the kill. Slasher with a double, and round fell a bit apart after Bait tried to go for that same kill on the windows. And you do have Sultan alive, you do have Boom, you have your IGL and your Star Fragger, and those are certainly the players you want to have alive and, you know, really give them a chance to go out, but it's a lot you got to do. However, if we can see a gap taken from either one of them early on, it'd be a great help. Stairs look to be almost culminating. Up to not go that marble side and Try to go spiral, which I think is even more risky in my opinion. We got a hold, mid whips both sides, Slasher finishes. Beautiful made, but not the big deal. Rin finishes it off, and Sienna looked like a great start, kind of flat back into just barely ahead, it feels. As Noodle are on the back foot once again because of that first map loss. True Synergy Gaming took that early plays. They took those early, you know, rounds, and it's been a bit different so far. We've seen Noodle actually put up quite a bit of a fight, and obviously already have more rounds than last map. And I think going that unorthodox side and picking the attack is a good start. With all the players, though, I think you really just got to watch out for how these entries pan out. If we can see Sultan keep doing such great kills and getting these first two to three kills, I think it's really, they need to have the momentum on the side of Noodle. They need to get, you know, a little bit more mentally ready, and then they can come into this harder side, in my opinion, because they picked the attack first. I think that they feel that they're an attacking team, that their aggression and how they play is a little bit more set for that. But it's going to be a better question when we start seeing them on that second half, because if you can go up forward to 4-2 here, it's a great start for Noodle in a game they need to win. Any predictions at all in the chat in which team is going to take this one ahead? Despite my opinionated beliefs, stats-wise, we are just seeing a bit of a backpack. Everyone else feels like they're on the same level statistically, and then Sultan is just miles ahead right now. Plus 14 in his trade differential. Even when he dies, he's putting up value. He's getting his body traded out. It's such big things to have as a team, and to have someone like Skidmarks right now who's really proving to be such a force no matter what, it's gonna be big, and I think it allows the shielded tanks to really have more space to work with. Once again, grabbing these early entries, and we're just seeing more and more from him, and it feels like normally you'd have to see another player show out here and really prove that they can hang here, but instead it just feels like Skidmark says, I got my team. Like a family joke, but this man is putting up a single father performance. Swing from Sazy, though, is going to be a real question. Aggression is going to be stopped. Misses. Skidmark having another first 2 kills of the round, and it feels like he just can't be stopped at all. The more we've seen this round go on, the more it's just proved to be a literal battering ram for the defense, and it feels like they're only kryptonite, really. They haven't struggled that much beside it, but we've seen them struggle so much when we see Sultan take these fights. There's such a high success rate when it's not Sultan going against him, but he's like just everything for this team right now. The trade goes out, certainly benefiting the side of Noodle. The less bodies you have, and it's a lot easier to make a 3v5 happen than a 2v4. Already less bodies on the side of the defense, and the attack is already down. Let's see a great C4 from Rin here. Good back off. He doesn't get shot by it. One grab. Pineapple gonna be above. He's got to play it perfect. Timing's got to be on point. Oh, a 2v1. He's got to drop and go for it. Timing won't work. He's gonna get traded out, and it could have been perfect, but too much put on the back of one man, and couldn't see a big enough performance from Tanks or Pineapple Crush there. So we're going to see a 3-3 half, and really got a better game here. Trying to get my touch portal set up so I can force the ad breaks only during map in-betweens here, but for whatever reason there's been issues galore bit of a leave. We're gonna pause after. Apparently now, I guess we are going to go to. Yeah, well, we'll go to a quick little break. Nothing too long here. Shouldn't be more than a minute, but we'll be right back. We're back after a little bit of slowing. Internet always going to be an issue sometimes. This is even the weaker build. God forbid you have to go to the LAN one where sometimes Siege. It's been much better with Siege X actually, but it can get really hectic here when you'll have 2 or 3 observers. You'll have so many people in this singular lobby. And it can really put a strain on your computer and on the internet. And sometimes you see that all culminate and just someone has to leave and refix. And been relatively lucky today with no real issues besides a couple of early Moss ones, but not all too bad, honestly.
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
Not anywhere near as bad as currently console. I've been casting and there might be some console teams that are genuinely awful, but I do feel bad because the layer PlayStation glitch and just the glitches in general with crossplay from PC to console have been miserable recently in customs. I was trying to cast a playoffs, it just couldn't get done. Like genuinely, neither team could even get in. Obviously feels that it's been a little bit better with the side of PC. Plus, it always feels like things go much more clean. We step over into console,
5 seconds to go.
or a step away from console because teams just care more. I don't know how it is. The teams really put in a little bit more work and they want to get that much better. I think that's what separates the console and PC here is skill's not that big of a deal, but the passion is, and you just see so much more passion on the side of PC, so much more seriousness. And as my YAP session comes to an end, I've been trying to fill the little bit of void we're going to see so far with just both teams sort of getting into their own, swap of the half, and you're going to see a more passive round generally. We do see the shield clear here, which isn't all too surprising. We saw how good they were with that shield, and I think they're also seeing how much Noodle succeeded and really possibly even imitating that. As crazy as it is to say. Not too many bodies upstairs. A lone man hiding in the corner, and well, obviously what could be probably one of the biggest plays of the entirety of this game is if we see him go undroned and able to cause havoc later on. We'll have to see though. Until then, we're just going to see a bit of a slow clear and each team just trying to find that gap. You know, we're seeing a little bit more pressure towards blue as that seems to be the plan, but Skidmark grabs that first pick and feels like he can't really be stopped on this entry. This man is an indomitable force. Weapon on it. See that Vigil go out. I guarantee you their big plan and their big X factor. Now we're going to see a traditional take with bodies being even. I'd argue in this case an advantage, certainly favoring the side of Noodle. They still have all of their big delay up. 2 smokes is a big thing, and Legions and Goyos are no joke either. Because with all of this, there's not all too much time left, and you got to delay a lot. Sazy grabs one, grabbing the Goyo. Once again, not who you want to find. If you can find the smoke here, it'd be the best, biggest thing you could ask for. He's your real stop to a plan. He's your gatekeeper. They give the diffuser to Jake here on that grip. Not sure the plan or idea yet, but team just kind of juggling it. Trying to put some grips in, go for a hold. Rin being tagged and looks to be gearing up for what feels like a shield plant most likely. Smoke going out. Trying to cut off some sight lines. Pushing up behind the bomb chassis. Time. Lowering. Big Big players down. It's a 1v4. Ace from SayZ here. Certainly not the expected outcome, but apparently that first entry doesn't matter when we just see SayZ pop off. Still no timeout at all from either team. It feels eerily quiet. Normally you really get to have that minute, and sometimes even a minute 45, as we've seen teams sort of combine it with the ban phase and see teams regroup and try to stop the momentum, but neither team has really done that yet. Synergy probably don't feel the need to, but Noodle should have at least once. Proving a pretty big gap, in my opinion, as a team, as we're just seeing much more, as it feels, from the side of Synergy. They feel more connected and they feel more locked together, I think, as a team. And it feels like with the side of Synergy, we're seeing like a good T3 team here, not just a team that's of 5 solo players. Never fun when we have this. It will realistically be a rehost, I think.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many bombs as they can.
Will probably be a rehost here. And we are going to quickly rehost, and you know what? I will actually not go to tech pause. We've done quite a bit of tech pauses today, and I don't like it. Y'all can see how we do things. Allergic to a little bit of different looking at. Beautiful thing about some of these lower T3 leagues that aren't truly official is we can change how things do. You don't have to go on a tech pause because it didn't work out. You can invite them on Ubi, and y'all can sort of just see how it happens. If we see a big I need to leave the session, please. I cannot have... Oh, good lord. Not looking for the outcome I hope for. So just chugging along here. Not what I wanted, and I really didn't want to do this, but I'm probably going to have to restart game here, and as much as I'm disdaining so far of these tech pauses, not my forte, and I really don't like doing them. Probably gonna need it this time. I will be back as soon as we can. Hope it's faster than slow. We have been on it long enough. I am not feeling any more tech pauses for today, so instead, y'all are gonna see a little bit of me setting up stuff, because I know damn well that screen of "We'll be back soon" is the bane of existence. Why does every single team have to have the longest name, as some would say? Orange attacked first. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. Bingo. Now we hope they join on good timing. If I can find them. The hell? Love a nickname to appear, please. Obviously, delays gonna be a little chopped, but how was y'all's been? How was y'all days been going? Outside of this challenging technical issue. Oh, a little better than this, obviously. Wouldn't want any of that. Tax would be orange. Bodies fall in pretty please at a fast rate, because I am a busy man, and I also do feel slightly bad for the side of both. I hoped the servers would not be awful again, but that doesn't give me hope. Let's even get these sites right. Yeah, whatever. Second floor, basement. It was something like that. 1, 2. Oh. I would go to an ad break or something, but I am, one, not inclined to, and I also don't really feel like having a 3-minute ad break is going to be all too much better than sitting here and watching this. And I'm not that money hungry for you to have to watch a Febreze ad, so sitting in here it is. A lot of things, but I am not for the money. We're good to go. Issues aside, after what feels like forever having issues, we're back, ready, and should be good to go. Bands, pause. We're gonna vocal bands instead. I don't feel like having another rehouse, because I cannot promise that it'll work. First, I'm just bringing them back up. Oh, man of the hour having them both. Yeah. And We are finally back up and running after it feels like the worst rehost session I've had to deal with in quite a bit of time. We got there. Better late than never, I say. As it
Attackers need
implodes
to
on itself,
locate
it
and
feels.
defuse
But
bombs.
we did get there eventually, so I guess you can't complain too much, can you? My mouse would be dying, and I'm debating what the best option is. Ooh, wait, I have an idea. See, now that I don't actively have my capture card running, I can just unplug that, right? Probably not the greatest idea to fiddle around with those cables. Let's have a little bit of fun. Plus, I kind of don't have all that many more USB cables on hand. Oh, it worked. Sweet. Well, no mouse for now, but the stick drifty controller shall do. Back into that game. Actually been a lot closer than I expected. I honestly thought it would be a blowout with Synergy just kind of using their momentum, but it has been a lot closer than it should be. Extreme aggression. Probably the most aggression I've seen for any singular player, it feels. Like, I don't think you could have gotten more aggressive. And, you know, I'm glad to see a little bit of that. Different play from Synergy. Using this blitz is essentially a battle ram, literally, instead of momentum-wise. Run out for bait. Probably not going to be a controversy, but always funny when it does happen. Possibly Yukiro try to cut him off here. Bigger question is, can he grab it? If he does, it looks to be probably a pretty easy kill. Yeah, that spawn peek was great, but not anywhere near as helpful as I think they thought it would be. We're now able to see this Valkyrie really be just caught out in a 1v4, and just the castle up should be a free win. One does help, but at this point it just feels like it's stat pads. Yukiro finishes off an amazing round inside of Synergy. Inching ever so close to that match point and a pretty dominant 2-0, taking out Noodle. Would not be the seed upset for once. These seeds are different. Synergy was top 3, and we have Noodle taking a like 6 or 7 spot, I want to say, if I'm not mistaken. Or it's like the 4 and the 6 seed, so not a crazy upset, especially with Synergy being so dominant. Probably could have gotten much higher than that 4 seed, but subs and in-team issues have made it a little bit harder for them.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many bombs as possible.
Big issue though is we're seeing no timeouts. Maybe it's momentum, but 2 rounds starting off on what should be one of your stronger sites you're going to isn't as great as you'd
Bomb
hope here.
located by attackers.
We really want to see Noodle show they can really put up some fight on the hero side here. Because being an attacking team is not really fitting into the meta at all, because you need more than one side of this. This is Siege. You cannot one-side your way to a victory.
10 seconds to insertion.
At least not logistically. And as we see, couch cushion, Mira be as broken as ever. Second time's the charm for him. Yeah, those angled surfaces have never been all too fond of those Akiba barricades, but I also don't know what they expected. A little bit of that Spider-Man running from the third-person side. Actually looks relatively good, to be honest. I expected much worse from Ubisoft. And now Bait sitting in the corner. Normally see with a shotgun player out of all things, but the aggressive angle from Bait here, and will not get anything for his aggression. He will not be rewarded. And we start to get main lobby push out of all things. Or maybe Bait comes to collect and patience rewarded with huge dividends. Noodle get that first kill in a pretty pivotal round, trying to stave away that match. Sultan putting himself in what feels like a really hard position. Nade going out. Good kill and taking a bigger advantage. Not reinforcing what he said with our players. I am nice to all, at least without any vulgar words. C4 guess. C4 is wrong. Rin grabs one and makes the 2v4, but what should have been impossible, that aggressive peek and failed shot means Synergy are still in this. Guarantee not what they want to be. They still have a clash to deal with, and Warden and Nizami are no slouches. Not sure what the plan was there. Should be a free round for Noodle. Tanks holding. I don't know why you should hold that angle. There are very few people that can even try to touch that kind of thing. I'm not going to see him be one of them. Stats so far. To be entirely fair, if it was going to be anyone that would try to aggro peek a Clash Shield, it would be Rin here. Dominant first map and a little bit quieter on the second, but that before that rehost, he was still putting up good numbers, so I kind of get it. I think that in a situation like this, I think the momentum, once again, I feel like the more we go on these breaks and the more we have technical issues, it's going to benefit Noodle. I don't know why, but Synergy can't seem to keep their momentum coming to those 5-minute time breaks in between. And if they let this go to map 3, I honestly give Noodle the advantage. They looked so much better coming into that final map and, you know, dealing with much harder things.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many bombs as they can.
Noodle started off first, and they're still putting up a good fight, though. It's a big thing. Even if they go down here, at least the second map showed a little bit more improvement and a little bit more grit.
Attackers have located a bomb.
Well, stick drift on Elite controller. I love myself my $130 controller. I'm not even touching it. My controller got the force over here. This is why I cannot be an observer, because I'm pretty sure my stick drift would get me kicked out. Apparently stick drift affects all forms of playing a game, including that. Certainly a bit of a questionable start, it feels, from Synergy. I don't know. They certainly have the stuff to back it up, but going down to a Capcan is probably not the first choice. Now a lurk from behind. Bait could grab one here if he's lucky. All really just depends on how hard they drone it here. Boom grabbing first kill, Bait grabbing second on a big 1-2 punch. Hugely benefiting. It could be a second pick, but huge whiff. It feels from the side of Pineapple Crush, and back into the corner. Finished off, and much better round from Noodle. And once again, these breaks seem to benefit them so much. With no shield in hand, he tried to swing. 1v5, and Synergy just looked battered now. Flawless round from Noodle. Might honestly opt for a timeout here for Synergy. But honestly, I feel like you wouldn't, because you're giving them more time, and apparently the momentum goes their way the second you give them 30 seconds to regroup. Terrifying prospect that if you give a team who's been struggling, the more you give them time in between games and in between that map 2 and 3, they become worse to deal with. That's such a hard thing to deal with. And I don't know. I think it certainly makes you feel nowhere near as safe taking those timeouts, because it might genuinely be counterintuitive.
protect your bombs from being defused by attackers. Attackers have located
I
a bomb.
mean, a 5-5 half is certainly a lot better than I think what a lot of us expected coming in from that map 1, but Noodle, if they can close it out here, map 2, you got a scary map 3. This team has looked great when they come off when they come off with a little bit more time to chill, and you're gonna be forced to give them 5 whole minutes to get back in their zone and really regroup as a team and to see a better playing from Slasher and sort of Rin here to IGL and keep it together. It's a scary prospect going against such a team where the forced time that have to be given and the time that you would take for attack timeout is being used against you. Early entry and moves from the side of Synergy here, trying to get that aggression, find an early one, and no success. Rin grabs it, and assuming a pick that was not meant to happen. A wallbang, or what is with this? Excuse me for the repel glitching, jeez. What could be literally the greatest singular play in the entirety of the game. Catches one. Huge flank playing out. Rush play going down, and it's come down to something really close. Obviously, you barely get the plan down, but it feels a hard situation to deal with. And both the bodies over here, they know now to just run away. And swinging in. Low. Tanks have to work off nothing. 1v1 with a shield, not what you want to see. You gotta run, you gotta play. You gotta make these aggressive moves because time's gonna close in, and it's not gonna be an easy one. Time should just fall down, and we're gonna see Synergy take it to match point here. They know it's over. Nothing you can do. Farm kills to make it look better, but Synergy go to match point here with what could be a 2-0. Certainly what feels like a slow almost start to this game, but big pickup. Both teams seem to have struggled quite a bit here in just finding, I don't know, any sort of momentum to hang themselves on. It feels like they can't hold it for all too long, and it was just swung. And now you're at a point where
Defenders
if it plays like that, it's not going to be out before. We're going to see Synergy win another one, and something that has generally been a 2-round burst in this game. You can't have that. You have to see Noodle break the streak, break the cycle, and win such an important round here. We see a much better half for their players and after this rehost, but it's a terrifying prospect. Synergy has space, but you're like win or go home. Noodle cannot lose. They have to at minimum win the next, could be 3 rounds in a row. You're really going to have to, if you want to get to that map 3, it's going to be a hard play, and you're going to have to scrabble there barely.
5 seconds to go.
A player leaving would genuinely be the worst thing, and if it happens inside of Noodle, it's certainly a question of validity. Should be good, though. One leaving sound later. Once again, that glitch terrifies me as a caster, because rehosts are often, as we've seen from previous, take quite a while. Slasher, Rin, Mukuro, one of them has to go big here. Just this first kill would be such a big step. Because you're at a point where this one kill could very well decide the entirety of it. You're going to have to go to a map 3 here. If you let Noodle break the cycle, you're walking in unknown territory. But if you can, if we can see Synergy get some early kills in the attack, maybe even get a plant down, this would be a huge play. Aggressive angle held by Chegg. That Cali looking for one of these kills here on just an early trade, which would be monumental. Bodies going in, but this angle held would give them so much. First kill goes inside of Noodle. Not what they wanted, and need to do something here. A speed plant is a risky strategy, and Synergy might be punished for it. So many angles. 3v4 trades, but Noodle's still holding that one-man advantage. Shield running up on the side of Synergy. Uses to find more space and more time. 3v3, 2v3, 1v3. Noodle, what looked impossible, could just genuinely have broken the cycle. Take it to overtime. All you have to do is not swing, play away. And we're going to go to, hopefully, max rounds here for Lucky, but at minimum, we're going to see 2 more. What has been a very, very hard game, and one that looks infinitely more competitive so far from the side of Noodle. He knows he's there. Cheg's just holding it, hoping for some little bit of hope here. He has the time to bait, but I think both know it's a lost cause, and neither team is really going to give them that help. We're just kind of hoping and wishing upon a star, and as we see some Fortnite level or COD phase trick shots, this will realistically be over, and we're going to go to overtime. And what has been probably one of the best games I've seen in a while. Been a much better of a heater of the game. See Noodle break the cycle of momentum and 2-3 round swings and when they need it. And we're going to see them finally go to overtime and put up a big fight for let's do or die here. There's so much going on, and just a pistol to do it. Should be over. Noodle will take it to overtime. Synergy, definitely not what you expected. Oh, please pause. There we go. So far, it really feels like Noodle have had a bit of a comeback and resurgence from their players. Tanks having a huge, uptick in kills and really putting in the work that they need. And once again, it's just you feel that pressure is so much more on the side of Noodle because you still have time and space and you still have stuff you can do as a team, but Noodle can't. They are done. Bans being figured out should be good. Gotta do it in chat because the rehost was bugged. Both teams making sure they know, try not to break the rules, and
defenders protect your bombs.
Certainly a little annoying, I will give them that. Not sure what this is even about, but instead we're just gonna see them keep playing. Going to quickly check bans as we wait for him. Just this sort of round to keep going. Can't even check. I cannot check bans, so very inconvenient. As I did not take a. Yeah, I didn't take a screenshot. So. Gonna have to take the word out of the players, which is never a fun idea, but I'm not going to be pulled into this, folks.
A bomb has been located.
Ah, I did not know the basement floor. Well, that's why. Okay, geez. Probably should make it to his level. That'd be nice. Cool shots, but instead, bodies literally all over the side of sort of blue here in this open area. Littered almost, it feels. Not really any plan in sight right now, but that could change. Everyone's sort of just trying to survey their options. Getting the smoke here would obviously be a miracle pick early on, and in overtime that would be so good. Beautiful pick, and smoke's gonna get him low as long as that barbed wire, but big or entry. You lose the smoke and suddenly blue is no longer really a safe thing to hold. Stick drift? Hatch opened with a thermite, which I will admit is a little unorthodox, but who says you can't do something a little differently? Tanks and Crush kind of just moving for something, a move at all. So far, kills come out. Noodle pulling ahead. Garage play though could genuinely be the end of them if we see Shag possibly look too aggressive on a one angle or not even look towards Garage at all with timings. He might not expect it, and might be one of the biggest plays of the overtime. All relying here. Sultan grabs a big one, and Synergy 1v3 should be over. Noodle looking to just try and bring this overtime match point. Perhaps see Synergy win 2 in a row just to keep this into a 2-0, but Noodle looking up when it was do or die, and this is going to be a close one. That looked bugged, but whatever. Approaching that 2-hour mark, and a game that, well, had originally looked like it'd be a beatdown, come back to be one of the closest in a while. Body, strategies, and all comes down for that 2-0 to what's going to be a very close one, I think.
Locate and defuse as many bombs as they can.
When it gets this close, you really just... You gotta stay locked mentally as a team. You gotta stay there, even when you have to win too. Because even if you lose 8-7 here, if you can get one more round, that's less momentum for them. They're not going into this with a dominant overtime. They're barely getting it out. And that's what I mean when I say every round counts, especially when you go to round differential, where, you know, on map 3 here, you could very well have the big ups or big thing on sides. Pretty sure, actually, as I say that, this is a non-round differential league, and we just do it through OPL, which means we should be good. And if I'm not mistaken, it is Synergy to defend. Seems that Azami has always caused issues. Maybe we see another run out from Bait here. The aggression would certainly be one of the craziest things we've seen in a while. He does pull it off. Could give his team a huge advantage, or really cause huge issues in total. Early destroy the sense wall is a lot bigger than they think, and it's going to stop this from being an aggressive play. Bait so far just kind of being this glue in the situation. Trying to get rid of as many sends walls. Rim's gonna go out, so he is not safe anymore, but Capitao, he's being forced back, taken out. Bait takes him out with some huge pressure put towards him. And big issue though. Well, geez, okay, want to go play the team. You just see a lot of bodies over here, and the second one goes in, it's all gonna fall, and it's really just dependent on can they win this. Boom looks to be in a prime angle to stop it though. All it takes is one hop in. Bodies flying in, 4v4, 4v3. Miracle grabs a huge one. He's in a situation, if the plane goes down, it's gonna feel impossible to win. Post plant coming out, and time is the issue. 3v3, gaining the advantage in numbers is amazing here, but there's so much you have to do as a team. All it takes is losing that one. Looks to be the most aggressive hold I've seen in a while. Praying, hoping that Crush can get there in time, but it's late. It's gonna come down to an aggressive one-on-one here. So much you have to watch, and you only have 15 seconds. The play worked, but there just wasn't enough time. And Synergy taking it to max rounds on that map too. We're looking to close it out here, and would be huge. However, Noodle have been so much better on this attacking side, and I don't know. I think if we're gonna see this go all the way, be a little anticlimactic if we see it only stop here. 15 rounds and we still go to that map 2, or go to that map 3. That'd be beautiful. But we can only hope. We see K-Tube, the duo that they opt to not ban, and it's really going to cause issues long term, I think. Giving such a powerful group of players in that duo power, just, you know, let free reign, essentially. It's a reason it's banned most of the time here, and
as many bombs as they can.
It's so dangerous to deal with. To see the same setup every time. So far, it has not really been a dominant win for either side, so it's a scary thing to play. Because no side here coming to this basement side truly feels like they have this in the bag. That's certainly the issue, I think. I think the bigger issue, though, is just can we see Noodle keep this up? Because they're under so much more pressure as a team. Synergy still has space and still have that comfortability of if we lose, we're fine, but Noodle don't. And this question is really just, can pressure create diamonds, or is it going to create failure? Is it going to be too much and they're going to crash? Is it going to be a crack, or are we going to see, you know, diamonds be created in what has been easily one of the closest games I've seen in Neurostirke playoffs. The max rounds always tend to be, and no side really has that advantage that you'd hope for early on. No one has that entry they want. The longer it goes on, the more the pressure builds, favors that defense. Barbed wire put up late early on, or late out here. Sound may be glitched. I really hope that isn't the case. One of the worst times. Trying to bait it. Find something. Skid mark does not fall, and I'm watching a dead body. Getting that first pick though, huge. Noodle really needed that, and more aggression here from Yazami. They don't want to give it up. They really want to try and force something, but with the Monty here, he's gonna be forced to. With the blitz, there's so much you have to do, and we're going to see Yazami forced back into the server spot. She's held it before, and she's been amazing at it. Quad last time, obviously. One of her most dominant spots, and if they can keep it up, it really allows for so much to happen. Because you're going to be playing this with close time, and the longer we see it delayed, Yazami hold angles, it's going to favor Synergy. They know what to do, not swing, don't give them that. No angle is safe though. Flashes, hatch drop realistically. Bodies are gonna come flowing, and all of this pressure is coming towards the side of Azami here. You know she feels it. She's just kind of stuck here in this angle, trying to just barely survive. 40 seconds left. The more she drains, the bigger it is. It's just keep going. This clock ticks until she cannot die. The rings go out, and it's making worse and worse. Eventually grab, but time is going down, and those Goyos are going to run it out. Which is the whole issue here. You're going to have to either sprint through or find another way, because Goyos will stop it. You'll be hit by the Goyos here. You can't wait it out. Synergy might have it here. You're going to have to essentially be pixeling it if you do make it. All it takes, though, is one good C4 from Rin. If he can just hold, it means the world. 2v3, bodies going out. Synergy, 1v3. Hold for the time. Barely a play to try to stop the diffuser. Noodle win it, round 15, and going to map 3, baby. About as great as a map as you can get. And you know what that means. We'll be back in just a bit. This is going to be week 2 of Counting Cards. And we have a very special guest. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. I am abolishing a CC member on the league team, CC. One of the most OG league teams to this day. And, yeah, top 50 champion. You know how it'll be.
You know how it'd be, I guess. Nah, what is your favorite moment so far from Siege, you'd say? If we're going
My
any
favorite
moment.
moment,
Before this fucking
honestly, bro,
update,
it's probably meeting my team that I'm now with, bro. Like, genuinely, I always played Siege, like, you know, for fun back in like 1.0. Like, I started around like season 2 around there, and I kind of just played it for fun. And I never really, like, you know, had like a really strive or passion to want to play it. And then I met Crypto Cow, which you would know him by.
Yep.
And yeah, from there we just kind of like formed like this cool team that just started playing Siege tourneys, and it like showed me a new side to Siege, bro. And it was like, honestly, it's pretty fun. So
Okay.
that's probably my favorite moment in Siege right now. Is
Me?
just like the comp scene. I really enjoy it.
Okay, let's go a little bit
Besides the
more.
toxic people.
Who's your favorite player over all of your comp Siege time? Favorite teammate? Yes, you're gonna have to.
Favorite teammate?
Yep.
Okay. Honestly, trying to think. Are we going off of like? Actually, you know what? I'll say Stargazer, because he's like honestly the nicest human being you'll ever meet. Like, no joke. Like, you can yell at him, be mean to him, no matter what you'll say, he'll still like. He'll just be a humble guy. Like, he will never argue with you. Like, I don't know. He's a very
He's
so
happy-go-lucky
chill.
kind of guy.
Yes, he's literally the happy-go-lucky guy, bro. So, I'd say, yeah, probably Stargazer.
Okay, that's understandable. He's relatively well liked by what feels like everybody.
Yeah, I mean, I could see why. He's so, like, just chill.
Okay, let's go to
Like
your
him.
accomplishments. What is your favorite accomplishment as a player?
I would like to say winning a Scissors League, but, you know, just can't damn do that, apparently. But,
What's so Black
honestly,
Ice?
yeah, Black Ice I definitely think is up there, but, honestly, I would just say, like, our biggest accomplishment is hitting, I think, 10 league wins, like, within our team. Like, we hit the last league we just won. That was our 10th league win as a team, which is, I'm pretty sure it's like some of the most that any team has ever gotten.
Yeah, I mean, you guys have been together for what, a year or so now,
like
minimum?
I think almost 2 years now.
Yeah, you guys are one of the most long-term rosters we've seen in a while. There hasn't been that many changes. There's been a couple of changes in the subs, but that main five has stayed for quite a long time.
Oh yeah.
It's pretty impressive.
Not planning to go anywhere either. Yet, at least.
What's next for you? You know, you've done relatively well in the comp scene. You're well known. What do you want to go to next? Do you want to try to keep up competitive? Do you want to go to tournaments and try to make a name streaming?
Yeah, honestly, I'm not backing down until I win a fucking Sunday. All right, I need to win a Sunday.
Sunday's what you
Seriously,
shoot for?
if I don't win a Sunday, I'm gonna be pissed off.
Who
But
do you want to play with?
once
Then?
I win,
Are you gonna run it with CC?
I mean, yeah, we're trying to do CC. I mean, the only problem is we keep getting Jinxie first round of every single tournament. It's actually annoying. So we played him the last 4 Sundays in like either first round or second round every single time. Sometimes we're like, we got flooded. Another time we like put up a fight. But I mean, you're literally playing the super team, so you know it makes it kind of hard to try and like get used to tourneys. You know, when you just play the best team first round.
Yeah, I mean that certainly doesn't help. So Sundays, what you want
Yeah.
to shoot for though?
Yeah, I wanna, and I do want, like, I've been trying to start streaming, but I need a capture card first, so, because I get stream sniped like every game. It's actually bad.
About
But
that,
yeah, once I get that,
I can show you a couple of tips until then. I think I can make you a good
Okay.
setup. That's more off
I
topic.
bet, yeah.
As we get back in here for the map 3, you could not make it closer, could not make it better stakes. Both teams trying to scrabble in, move on, and just live to fight another day in those semifinals instead of losing it out in the quarters here. But lots on the line, and you have a lot you have to do as a team. Noodle finished, but you made it way closer than it should have been, and Synergy now actually feel that pressure as they come onto this final map, and everything really gets close. As we all load in here, I think the bigger thing you gotta watch out for is how can we see these Okay, I guess we're good then. Jeez. Yeah, I just assumed after 2 maps of for that 5-minute break early on we'd figure it out, but apparently not. I'm actually kind of debating between how we do ads around here. I like having ads run during those manually during those times where in between matches, because especially at that 3rd, 4th, or like 5th map even, I like that podcast episode as much as the next guy, but like you're only gonna see 5 minutes of it every time, and go get a drink of water, you know, go to the bathroom or something, go scroll TikTok, and you know, come back when ads are done. Sure. I wouldn't hate. I'm just trying to make a little bit of bag here. Well, you know, that's up to y'all though if you stay. We will certainly see. That's more unrelated as we see these teams' first bans really come through. Ace, Thermite. Are you really surprised? The defensive hard breach bans have just become so common. You know, why even try to worry about walls when you can just ban them away? Cade banned for another obvious reason. You want to stop them any walls from getting open. However, due to this weird cookie cutter version of you'll see the Ace and then the Thermite banned, you do see Hibana pick rate has skyrocketed in T3 because if that's how they ban a lot. It isn't as common in those T2 levels to ban all that much hard breach, but you will see it a lot, and I mean a lot in these T3, T2 teams where
Protect your bombs from being
Hibana has
defused
just
by
skyrocketed use rate because that's the only hard breacher left. And you've also see ops that have good hard breaching with secondary utility like Rim. You know, you're thinking of maybe like a Deimos here, Zofia even. These ops where you can provide that utility of a hard breach, and still a little bit more to come with it. Because I mean, you can still technically make a walkable hole with those hard recharges. It's definitely dangerous. I mean, that's what you're doing, but top teams and teams that know the strategy can abuse that and give themselves, you know, still these holes that are huge and useful. But as a team, you just got to be so careful because both of these teams, I guarantee you, feel that there is nothing. This is it. You brought it as close as you can. You got to finish it out now. Stop playing around. You got to go for it. Because if you don't win it now, who knows when you're going to. Again, you're just seeing all of these shots come out. Flora is trying to really get this deployable shield here. It's the all or nothing for him, because if he can get this shield, then, you know, really going to see a big power position go, but it's not going to give him for free. Shots missed, he might get close. He gets the deployable shield, huge from him. Things go out as he has to, as Ramai has to back away. Azami not even seeing the pressure being put towards her. Early pick for Noodle. Big one, too. Snenzy sort of getting pressure low already, so we've got to go for Nikito on this Legion. There's so many angles to watch. He might see him at the corner of his eye. He doesn't. Flora is playing this double-decker game of who is really going to sit on the stairs more. They both sort of know, but none one wants to swing. Risk it. If Noodle grab it, they get that big advantage, and this round is almost over, but Synergy, if you go down, it's so hard to really try to commit to a swing, because that's it. 3v5 is almost over. Snazy grabs another 4v4 and tied back up. Time closing in. Players, fireplace, on the stairs. You're going to see library. Everyone's going to collapse, and it's really just who can get those early trades. Who can get that first kill out of the big cluster, and to the victor goes the spoils of the first round and all the momentum in the world if you can control it. Just looking for something here. As a team, bodies are going to come out. You got to be very careful. That beautiful plays and Synergy taking what should be a free round. The momentum already goes towards them, and a strong attacking team of Noodle decimated early on. Now you're going to have to see, you know, something else come out from the side of Noodle. They can't just do the exact same thing anymore. And these kind of rounds early on get so scary because all of that information, all of that momentum, and what you truly want in those rounds is to control, and all of that control goes the side of those first. Those first couple kills mean so much. It's why entry is such a big deal, because if you can get those early on, you got all the momentum in the world. You got all the mental. Your team is automatically going to feel better if you win those rounds. And now you're going to have to see Noodle come back from that. You're going to have to see them regain the momentum, which is infinitely harder. Sort of coming back from just a pretty bland prep phase overall. You know the setups, you know the mirror's going to be here downstairs, you know that extension is really going to be where all the power points are going to be. And this is where it's all going to come down. It's how fast can we see an extension be cleared, and how much utility is up here. Because if you lose too many bodies or too much time, and You know, let's say they get, you know, they do get a body advantage, but they're going to lose a minute 30 or 2 minutes possibly up here. It doesn't matter. Noodle are going to be down even with that number advantage because time here is the biggest player. It's not the same as some of those fights, some of those fights that are the same floor. You have to get time. You have to give yourself time as a team because if you don't, and you're going to have to crunch it, and it's never going to work. And instead, we're going to see hard reaches go out early. Carby some pressure. You're going to have to sort of play more behind this half wall and don't get playing passive. Snazy trying to take the aggressive one. Dangerous thing to do here. Runs away, takes damage for his punishment. Just one aggressive and got punished. And all of this closing in here on the half wall player. Trade out, 5v3, Synergy go up again, but with a down player, it shouldn't be only that one player disadvantage. An angle here might save him. Damage again. Sultan just farming what feels like pot shots on these guys. Everyone's just sort of coming down to these close fights here. Blackbeard here are going to have to watch multiple angles, have to be very careful. A Twitch wrong kill. Won't see that too often. Murko, though, is the big issue. Everyone's upstairs. Rin grabs one, big kill. Shield's alive, but it's a clear disadvantage. Gotta make that up. One player goes down for Pineapple. Gonna see some more aggression. Rin grabs that Blackbeard, and we're down to just Pineapple, low HP. Need to make a big play here to prove him. Beautiful flick to grab one, but gotta do a lot here. It's not just a one-man show. Good angle, bad reaction timing. Just gonna sort of see these bodies start to close in here. Rin finishes, an amazing round for him. Getting that quad there and really putting up some good work for his team. We've seen it before, and he can really show out in these important rounds here to hold the momentum. And Synergy already taking this early lead. With no time what's really being used on the side of Noodle, it's so much more dangerous because you can't even stop it, it feels. And now you're going to have to see some big step-up plays from the side of Noodle. They have to get rounds here. They have to prove that they can hang on this map 3. Synergy, we've seen them on the map 3. They feel dominant. They feel ready to go, and they're able to go that distance. A lot of teams can't, and a team like Noodle, who hasn't proven themselves in scrims and in BO3s yet, it's a scary thing to deal with. They barely squeaked out a win in that map last playoff round, and it's such a dangerous thing, I think, because you're taking one of the best BO3 teams in the entirety of the league, and you're trying to pull an upset on them. It's a hard thing to do. Because you've taken them to this map 3, and yes, you've had time. Statistically, Synergy are almost perfect when it comes to playing those later maps. The later it goes, it feels like you're setting in for a trap being set. And that Hunter, the man who will win, has so far been Synergy. One of the best teams when it comes to that clutch, and in terms of actual clutch percentage, they're ranked 3rd from what I have here. And
attackers are moving out to
quite a bit of
locate
that is
bomb
Rin,
and defuse
actually. He had that one early quad, obviously, but he's an amazing 2v1 player, a 1v1 player. He wins those, and his pressure doesn't get to his head. And it's so big to have a player like that. And you're going to have to see a big step up on the side of the field. You've marched into arguably one of the strongest teams in playoffs and their favorite spot. Arguably, they're a top 3 map for them. I'd argue close to 2 to 1. And you're walking into it on their best part of the game, in those late rounds, in those in these map 3s. You're going to the worst spot you can, and you really got to prove that you can even hang. Because you were already struggling just to barely squeak out a win on one of Synergy's weakest maps, and now you got to go to one of their strongest. That's a scary thing to deal with as a team. Noodle got to prove that they don't get squeamish easily and handle that pressure. So far, time-wise, we're just seeing Synergy played out as good as they can. Wine Cellar is going to be the name of the game here. They kind of just abandoned inside a blue bar, and even Storage, arguably, they're still going for these executes here. Good plays with the flash here to force Flores in the back off. And gives you that early utility disadvantage. Bodies are picking up over here. You don't have a shield, so certainly dangerous try to swing in against a clash. But if you can create some pressure somewhere else, Rin grabs one. Once again, we're just seeing that he's not affected by this pressure. No flash. He's gonna go even more aggressive on these angles and corners. Caught out by it though. Nomad punishes, and Clash forced to move back here. Just kind of being pushed more and more back, pushed into a position she doesn't want to be in. Flashes, buying time. Pineapple grabs one. Noodle taking the two-player advantage. You still have your Clash alive, you still have these big players alive, but you're being burned alive. There's nothing you can do. You're stuck in the corner, 1v4. Synergy look almost destroyed in this round. Grabs one, it's a 1v3. There's a lot yet to clear. Trades have to be done.
They're activating the bomb diffuser.
Yeah, that's like perfect here. Fortune favors the bold, but you have a lot to work with here. Literally has to be perfect. There is nothing he can give away. Flores might grab it here on bait. Boom, grabs it. Noodle get the first round. Looked amazing start for the side of Synergy, but just couldn't handle that late round execute. We're gonna see. I think we're still gonna see more though to quell the danger and the pressure that Synergy can bring. If they can slow them down and make this a slogfest of a 3-3 half and they just go back and forth, that's fine. But if you let them get another round here and you sort of let them build this pressure, or let's say you end this with a 3-3, but you let a 3-3, but you let them get 2 timeouts, or not 2 timeouts, you let them get 2 rounds on that half swap, it's huge. You can't give Synergy any room to breathe. If you want to keep this winnable, you have to keep this as close as you can. Even in my opinion, getting ahead too much might cause issues. This team plays good from behind as well. You have to keep this close and then just close it out in my opinion, a close one. You have to make it a narrow finish. Because if they're far behind, they have that clutch gene. They have that X factor, and they've shown it before in other BO3s. In other season games. They've come up they've had 4 rounds going back before, this would be the last. If they pull it off. Noodle have to essentially prove that they can kind of break this statistical huge issue with them is Synergy are terrifying on these late rounds. They're terrifying when you give them, 2 rounds down. You have to clutch or win. You get I'm just gonna come back to that. Noodle have to prove everyone wrong here and kind of win. Nobody expects it. I think that Synergy have kind of shown, especially from that first map, this game has been theirs. They just can't throw it. Bank was a close one. And really, it's just down to how fast we can see Noodle get itself back together after the break. Because God forbid there must be a rehost. And it's a dangerous, dangerous thing for the side of Synergy to see. Giving more time to a team that already excels when you give them that aggressive play. Synergy grab that first pick. Rin. Again, he gets these early picks on the spawn peaks to get these big clutches, and that's why you have him on that team. That's why you have him on that extra fragger. Giving him that big role to constantly cause chaos and start it off good. Sheg grabs another, and the problem is, you saw it before, the reason they couldn't clear this, if they can't clear this DP shield, it's the only reason they're having issues. Why they couldn't. You cannot have something as important as that DP shield to stay alive, and unless you want to waste a Capital Bolt or, some Nomads for a bit of an iffy play, it's going to come close. Assaulting grabs one in a big moment. He's going to have to grab another one here. Not giving anything. 3v3. Pineapple Crush grabs one. Didmark holding an angle and fails. Everyone's just trying to find something here. Murko holding that good angle here. All it takes is one good play. Catches him out. Cannot get the second. Give me a down player. 2v2. We'll settle into something like that as long as we don't see it down here. Triple kill for Crush, and a miss C4 means if this res comes up, it's a dangerous game. Aggression makes it a 1v1. Can't win it. Crush grabs a quad on the round. Noodle tying it back up here. Both teams coming into their own here. The big thing you want to watch out for here, though, is can we see Ren keep that consistency? So far, Sultan hasn't been able to put up the same numbers he needs to, and you can see it. And you're going to have to see people, you know, other people on that team. You're going to have to see Crush take that role. You're going to have to see Tanks take that role. You're going to have to see Boom. You're going to have to see all of these different players make a committee approach to make up for the fact that Sultan has
Attackers
failed.
need to locate and defuse bombs.
And now you're just going to have to come down, and as Synergy, you have to settle this early. Because I think that if you can get, like, once you get that early momentum, it's like Noodle struggle coming back in those situations. Certainly a fair point. Bait has been a bit of dead weight, to be entirely fair. Struggled a lot early on, and then arguably the reason that Noodle can't really win it out. Positions brought up well, and drone roll is not a thing, my friend. Support is, but even then you'll still expect to have like a 0.7, 0.8 here. That's on the low end. Having a 1.0 plus in support isn't impossible, especially with how some supports play. That aggression be, you know, when it's a 1v3 or situations where less bodies are left, it doesn't matter if you're support or not. You're going to have a gun in your hands, and that's what matters. It's not like you don't have anything, and Crush, Sultan, everyone droning, kind of finding that point they want to come in from. For us, we see it early on, hopped into that just window and really try to take as much space as they can, and not a lot to stop them from taking a lot of this. The big question mark is just upstairs. How can we see a fast clear done upstairs? If Blackbeard can find this early kill, it's a huge play. A miss from him. He could have had it all, could have had the entry, but Noodle throw it. Sultan, nowhere near as strong so far. You can see it. He just isn't himself on that entry. He isn't the dominant player he was map 2, map 1. Everyone's just, once again, they're trying to find a way to clear out this singular person. Murko finding essentially himself in the worst position possible. Everything is coming towards him. Killing the Sultan, gets the Blackbeard. But once again, he's just stuck in this corner, and he can't really walk away because Boom's watching. He's kind of forced himself in an angle that's hard to hold. And with people actively watching him, he's set himself in a corner, and if he can get 1 or 2 kills here, even if he can just get a kill or buy some time, such a huge thing for him. Snazy finds one, and bodies all just falling. 4v3. Crush grabs a big one to just try to narrow that gap a little bit. So much you have to do, and you don't have a lot of time. Minute left, and your options are dwindling the more you let this countdown go down. Time's just going to wither away if you let it. And doesn't seem that Synergy are all too fond on swinging, especially when they have that man advantage. Yang gets flash, but you need to see a play here. Tanks has to pop off. Can't grab it. Situations are even more dire for Noodle. You're putting yourself in a 4v2 against a team great holding these advantages generally. Struggle a little bit early on, but they've come into their own, and players being forced. Bait grabs one. Big kill for him. Sight almost feels theirs, but the diffuser's outside. You're now going to have to send a body all the way outside and then come back in. And
the bomb diffuser.
waste a lot of time in the process.
15 seconds to
Could be
go.
walking right into their hands. Snazy has the angle.
10 seconds remaining.
Smart play, but Rin grabs it in the end, and Synergy just proving why they're one of the best map 3 teams. They found that early advantage, and they're not giving it up. That C4 to the Blackbeard was the biggest thing they could have had happen, because you lost that important shield operator. You lost the thing that's going to kind of drive your push. You need it to, and when it doesn't, you see how it fell apart. A lot closer than I think which was intended. Because you're really just trying to put it a little bit, you know, not as close. You want to find some area here where you can just pop off, but
Attackers need to
Noodle
locate
not really
and
finding
defuse
that
as
gap
many
and
bombs
edge
as
over
they
them.
can.
So far, they keep straight as well, and their entries can't be enough consistency. We need Sultan to pop off if you want Noodle to keep here and keep playing. close rounds. You can't rely on Pineapple getting these late round kills to carry. You need to see these advantages come early. That's how you win these games. You get those first kills, you get the momentum, and you can't do that if you're going negative in entries. You can't let people like random people like Sneezy, you can't let them get big, you know, time here and let them get hot. If you let a player like Rin, who's already known for being very aggressive, and you let him sort of just keep getting these entry kills, you're just gonna feed his mental, and it's gonna make it even worse. You're gonna make a monster. You have to shut down the entries from Synergy. If you're at minimum, you gotta slow them down. You can't let them get an entry early on. If it's a late execute, 30 seconds left, and you find one, sure, but that's a lot of guessing. Brava used for the more unorthodox use of bandits out of all things, what said the Twitch, but obviously that's banned, so gonna have to sort of find in between. Flora's probably would have been in between, but Porco finds the first. Synergy taking a massive advantage in one of these big rounds here for the half. Control. Synergy really looking for that thing to hand themselves on. Had a great half statistically and been much better than besides. It won't matter if it turns out to be a 3-3. Inching towards it. Pineapple gonna have to realistically fall into this angle eventually. Miss for both sides. Boom grabs one though. Everyone's open library here. Chegg gonna be the man to hold it all down. He's gotta be perfect here. He's gotta find something. Damage isn't gonna be enough. He's gonna have to find the body. Flash is gonna come out. He's essentially being forced back and back. Pineapple down. Chegg stuck in position. Traded out by Bait and CT left is 3v3, but even then, aggression is being shown on both sides. Someone's still trying to look for that early advantage. These mid-round kills mean more than anything you could even believe because it gives you momentum. It gives you momentum going into that execute, and a team like Synergy who works so much better when they have that one player up. The big thing for them. They've been the juggernaut in this game generally, and a round like this would kind of prove that, but the closer you let it go, the more you're letting Noodle get some time to figure it out. Get better and better. K9 hold the aggressive angle. Shotgun in hand. Snazy low as ever. Gotta play perfect. Gotta be genuinely perfection. He's low. Doesn't get it. Gonna be traded out. Down to a 2v2. Players going out. Synergy, no, 1v2. Rain has done this before. Gets the shots he needs. Early, low, 1v1. All you have to do, play the time. Play the numbers. Rin just decide to sit here behind. Beautiful shotgun shot. And once again, these 1v2s, you just see them. You see Rin showing out, clutching when it matters. And there's a reason he's been the top frag again and again and again for the side of Synergy. There's a reason he's arguably been the MVP every single map. He's putting up the work every single map. Even after the rehost, when he wasn't anywhere near as good, he was still putting up value. And you're giving these situations where now you're giving Synergy a good gap. You're giving them space, and you're making it worse and working worse. Snazy with some absolutely vile shit talking, which, I mean, warfare is warfare, I suppose. We're gonna do mental ones as well. Bans come out, same bans, probably will be different order. Once again, strongest defensive and offensive ops on Chalet. You're just kind of banner away what's good. No real adaptation, I don't think, from either side. Only one I can maybe see is a Zami or Tubarao for the defense. Otherwise, maybe a Blackbeard on the attack. But there's simply a lot that you have to account for, and I don't think that Synergy are a strong shield team, so banning away the basics is going to be the plan. They're better when you give them that gun. Again, you see a bandit instead. They really don't want the electricity here. They're fine with if they have to get a wall slow or they have to deal with like a mute or something, but you know, they want to get themselves a guaranteed wall. Respectfully, there we go. Noodle finally used a timeout after literally using it for the bathroom. Apparently we can't use it in the middle of the game when it all comes down to nothing, but we're going to use it because our dude has to take a shit. There's no way, right? This has to be like out of a dream. Out of, I don't know, something from a fairy tale. It's hilarious almost. We see literally just everything, no timeout. You go down, 4 rounds, no timeout. But when you need to go to the bathroom, we're going to call it. This feels like something that you'd hear in like an SNL parody or like a meme. It's like, what is this? What is this? Questionable at times. We come back and hopefully Noodle kind of reinvigorated themselves for once.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defused by attackers.
Certainly going to be interesting, I think, what we see from this post timeout, which is the first from Noodle, and they've generally been better when you give them times. It could be a big play to just really try to a full, I guess, reset for them. With that time for ban phase, and you see that timeout, it gives them almost 2.5 minutes of straight period of nothing. However, if we can see Synergy win besides this timeout, I feel like it'll be over for Noodle, and that'll be about it. Big player to see is Bait early on. After playing the drone operators and struggling for the kills, he's popped off in the past couple rounds, and maybe we see him start to play this aggressive roam role and put in some work here for his team when they need it most. Chegg entering early on, trying to grab that garage space as fast as he can. Sort of seeing this extremely aggressive roam clear up top. Mercuro grabbing a big pick here. Damage from Rin. Sneezy grabs another 2 picks, and so far that timeout looked to have done nothing at all, and if anything, given Synergy more time to rethink. Let Noodle not really regroup, but almost sit in their own crappy mental right now. That's a big step up somewhere. Blitz is the big player here. A C4 would be huge, but it hits him, and what could have been a 1-player advantage turned right back into 2 after Chegg gets that aggressive kill, as Sultan just kind of sits there and lets it happen. Boom. Pineapple, 2 of the best players right now in the server, and best players on the side of Noodle. You're going to have to see him clutch up and keep this game a winnable one. You don't want to take the side of Synergy any closer to match point, unless we're talking max rounds here, because they're just going to get more and more dangerous. So Pineapple crushes above here, hoping to maybe hold an aggressive angle, caught out on it. 3v1, not to be one of the best clutches we've seen tonight by far. Could rival Rin's here. Just simply the time, the thing that needs to happen is much harder. 1 kill is huge. Time won't be enough. Snazy finishes, and scary prospect. 5-2, and moving ever closer to a match point for map 3 with a dominant start. And doesn't really look like there's too much to stop him. We're seeing Rin in the side of Mercuro. I can't say his name. The Nomad just pop off with 4-1 on entry. They're unstoppable on that duo right now, and they play like a Batman and Robin. You'll see them both start on different sides of the map or different windows, and they'll just close in and find an isolation pick. And with the side of I can't say it. Nomad, he's still +9 on entry,
Attackers need
14
to
and
locate
5.
and defuse bombs.
He's putting up big numbers here to sort of help his team get there. And you have to see that there's a lot better Noodle to sort of come back here and win when it's best, because there is no double elimination. This is Neurostrike doesn't do that no more, ever actually. Forgive me, but it also means that you're gonna have to play right. You cannot
10
fail,
seconds remaining.
because if you give Synergy a match point, unless we see a Furia type comeback, this is over. You have to win 3 in a row. You have to come back and
Attackers
bring
are
this
moving
close.
to defuse a bomb.
If you go to match point 6-5, that's doable. Anything less is asking for issues. Same hard hold upstairs. I'll have to use the Scopo shell, which has been a common strat I've seen. With no Flores, it could be even more dominant because you can't really damage that one out either. Suddenly, that shell is actually really good. Players kind of just all hoping for something here. What's realistically going to be the catalyst? Rin once again taking this aggressive role with the shield. Che grabs one. Sultan, the trade out, technically the entry for Noodle, but neither side really getting major benefit from it, because we still have both the shields alive, and that's the big aggression. That's the big catalyst to it all. Once again, Pineapple down, and these shields are just proving to cause chaos. And you have to see Bait run away. Sultan left low. Everyone's just looking for something here. Miss from Bait, and what could have been a kill is just turning into a whiff fest, and huge miss for them now. Bait is already low. Sultan is too, and there is no way he's able to switch back to a second body. Excuse me, it's dead. And you essentially have to be perfect. There's so little you can do as the side of a team here. The flank stopped, but they might not have heard. He might have actually been able to keep going. Big issue though is Rin and Bait might clash sides here at the worst time possible. Running across at perfect timing. He's slipping himself into these angles here that could cause major issues come time. With no real drones left. At least apparently no droning left. I haven't seen all that much droning, and it's going to be dangerous to deal with. We don't see a smart clear here, and we don't see a bad firing from him. Might be able to sit himself here and come back. Big roll. All he has to do is not swing. Caught out. Patience could have been rewarded, but instead Che grabs him. A round that could mean it all. 1-4 match really. Dangerous 1v3. Sultan last alive, stuck in the corner, hoping for something. He's gonna have to find a miracle here. Bodies close in. Everyone's looking. Rin finishes, and Synergy going to match point. Map 3. Once again, this is why I don't want to take him here. One of the best teams, all in all, when you go see them in that, aggressive role. You see them in that map 3 when they have this gap. Because one, it feels like a wall, because Rin, when you give him these situations, is always performing. 186 EPS. He's now 3-1 on that entry. 100, or what are we at? 88% cost, 50% survival rate, and a 3.25 KD. He's traded out people. He's refragged people. You're just seeing this snowball form of someone that was so good when that momentum comes towards him, and it's getting worse and worse. And you're seeing these entries, you're just seeing them keep snowballing. We know Rin gets good when you give him those entries. We know the side of Nomad, again, because that's what I'm going to call him,
Defenders, protect
just
your
gets good
bombs
on those
from being
entries.
defused by attackers.
There's a reason this team is built on that momentum. They're built when you give them that early advantage, and when you give them these, 1-2 round advantages. When you give them something like 4, it's essentially game over. You're playing against one of the best momentum-based teams in the league, and they have 4 rounds on you. You're on match point, and Noodle essentially has to come back and play perfection on the site they just lost. A little bit less shields this time. Blackbird's still alive, but no blitz. Rin opts to go the Ying instead. opts for the shotgun or light machine gun, and not really a surprising pick, just a scary moment for the side of Synergy, or for Noodles here, because you're down. Right now, it doesn't look like you really have that much fight in you. You gotta get runs on the board early, and you gotta get them absolutely have dominance here, because you can't go down a player. You can't. Whoa. You can't lose an entry. You can't have anything go wrong, because everything else is already so close. Obviously, Boom gonna be that big player if he can hold his angle. There's a lot of angles he's got to watch here. 4 windows. He could come from below, and shields can come from that second floor. Horizontal clear. Jay grabs big kill here. Getting bait, getting that frost, and obviously we're still seeing that dope call go out. They know that he's somewhat close. They sort of hear it with that echoing. Boom, though, the player to deal with. Yeah. He's got to be your guy to take out. If you can get him, this round isn't lost, but you have to clear him, and you have to be fast about it, because trying to go for a plant above is one of the riskiest strategies you can pull. Starting to see these bodies sort of get in positions. Everyone's starting to get ready for that. Sending in C4s, Yings, all hoping for that speed plant to finish it off. They have the round to experiment. It looks to be it, but Salt grabs a big kill. Stops the plant from going down. 2v3. Synergy issues aplenty. Being flashed out here. Forced around. What, 2v1? Noodle have to win with the Legion. Everything is surmounting on a one man here. Coming down to something like this is as miserable as it gets, because he knows where you are. You have to play through the angle. Synergy finish in what will be probably one of the best games so far. Dominant play from Synergy in that last round, proving that when you take into map 3, they're unstoppable. There's a reason you don't want to play them there. Rin dominating the server with Murikuro, whatever you want to call him. Both of them having 172 EPS and 148 respectively. 5 and 2 on that entry together, and plus 12 as trade differential. The unstoppable duo, a scary, scary sight to see, and one you will have to see next week. Thank you for watching.